Hey guys, this is Guys Talking About Stuff. I'm Kevin.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Thomas.
And today we're going to be talking about awards. And we're talking about the big granddaddy of them all, the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're going to go through all the different categories and we're going to talk about our opinions, maybe some movies that didn't get the love they deserve, and maybe some that we're a little shocked at.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just have to let the cat out of the bag. We just got to start with it. Ironically,
Yeah.
Black Panther, man. Yeah. Is it a decent Marvel movie?
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
it is a good movie.
Is it a Best Picture nominated film? I mean, I think even Marvel fans would rather have Infinity War on there.
I would. I think that
I really
would fit
just
better.
kind of shocked to see that on there, because it's like, of any Marvel movie or any superhero movie to ever get nominated for Best Picture, the first one ever is Black Panther, not The Dark Knight, not.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, The Dark Knight didn't get it because they're like, oh, it's a superhero movie. But Black Panther gets a nomination.
It also got a nomination for sound
look how many-
editing, sound mixing, production.
soundtrack, score,
Yeah.
original song. I mean, it got like 7. If it wins, I mean, I'd be shocked. And
Costume design.
yeah, I mean, look how many it's nominated for.
I could
really
see costume design.
it
though,
could get
because
that, but we're gonna. I'm just grabbing my head right now, trying to think about how Black Panther got Best Picture nominated. I mean, my top 2 movies of the year didn't get nominated, and I
What
knew
were they?
Annihilation and Suspiria.
I just
Yeah,
watched
that was-
Annihilation
Annihilation
last
was
night.
really good.
It was
Oh,
an amazing
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't.
You know why it didn't? Because
Why?
it's a genre film, and I guess what's happened is superhero movies have become so popular that they're like, we need to be cool with the kids again, so we got to nominate one of their movies.
That was a cool film, though.
Oh yeah, but meanwhile, Annihilation didn't get the nomination. And here's the thing: they're allowed to nominate 10 films. They only nominated 8. First Man didn't get a nomination for Best Picture, so Damien Chazelle misses out again. I mean, he didn't win for La La Land, which should have won that year. He didn't win for Whiplash. Whiplash didn't even get a nomination, and he doesn't get a nomination for.
Well, he's won Best Director, 2 years
He's
in a
won
row?
it twice, but
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
movies, he's
yeah.
a great filmmaker, and every
Yeah.
time he makes a movie, I stop and I'm like, I have to see it. I haven't seen First Man yet.
Sorry, I'm laughing into the mic.
So no, it's all right, Tom. We forgive you.
He forgives
So
me.
so it's yeah. No, it's just so funny to sit here and go like, I have 3 movies that I think should have got nominated. Annihilation, Suspiria, and Hereditary should have gotten Best Picture consideration, and they didn't. But Black Panther gets a nomination for Best Picture. I mean, I will say this. Looking at their list, I can see that this year, not that it's a bad year, but I think it's kind of a weak year. Because usually when we're coming into Best Picture, there's usually, I would say, probably about 4 or 5 movies on the list that could win. Sometimes there's 6. I mean, I remember not last year's thing, but the year before, I mean, like, that, like, 6th or 7th movie that year was, like, Hell or High Water, and that was freaking great. That deserved the nomination. So it's one of those things we're looking at this year. I'm like, I honestly think there's really only 3 movies that could win, and I'm gonna throw them out now because I think it's good to start with the Best Picture category. I really only think A Star Is Born, Roma, and The Favorite could win. I don't see any of the other films having a shot, and that's what scares me, because I'm like, what if Black Panther wins Best Picture?
What about
It's not the best movie of the year. It's not even close.
I haven't seen it, but I heard a lot about Vice.
I heard a lot
being
about
great
Vice,
movie.
but I heard it's so left wing that no people who lean right or are on the right will give it a vote.
I see,
so
yeah.
there's no
Well,
way.
I mean, if they...
But then again,
if
it's the
if-
Academy,
yeah,
so
if they...
It's a political movie.
I mean,
if they nominated Black Panther,
If they nominated Black Panther, they're
then
gonna...
Vice is getting
Vice
it.
is getting
It's
it.
got
yeah.
it in the bag. So okay, maybe Vice has a chance. I thought Black Klansman was fantastic. That deserved a nomination. Bohemian Rhapsody, I didn't see it, but I heard Rami Malek's so good in it that you think he's Freddie Mercury. But does that make it a Best Picture?
Yeah,
it has a 62 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I also heard it's a concert, basically. Like, you lead up to a concert, and it's a concert most of the movie. So is that really Best Picture, or is it a recreation of a show? Yeah.
Well, did you see Steve Jobs? The new, not
Not
Ashton
the Ashton
Kutcher's-
Kutcher one. Oh my god.
The new one with
I have
with
not, no.
written by Aaron Sorkin.
Yo, yeah, that one was
One of
really
my
good.
favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it was really good because Michael Fassbender is amazing, and that was clearly not from 2018. But
let me give him some information. Basically, that movie, it's in 3 acts, like a normal movie, but each act is leading up to one of his like
big events.
big but a lot of things happen that are fiction. Oh no, a lot of things happen that did happen, or some things that didn't happen, but are very character based.
Yeah, but
on people.
that's also telling the story of a person. This is like,
But no,
this is
they
the
do
story
it.
of a
But
band.
they tell the story in 3, like almost like was it 3 reveals, like for whatever the product or product launch or what's it called? What's the word? Where they kind of they present the product.
Unveiling.
No, it's kind of like
Yeah.
E3.
Yeah, like
games,
those kind of
yeah,
and
big conference.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Tech conference.
the question is what was that movie like that?
The
Or
Jobs
Bohemian
movie?
Rhapsody. No, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I
Is that
don't-
what it's like? Is it?
Well,
do they
I
take all
feel
these
like-
events?
I see. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Now,
but
if we wanna
from
talk-
what I hear is they build up to the Live Aid show, right?
Which
that
is
what it,
yeah. Oh, it's a fantastic moment,
Yeah.
especially if you're a Queen fan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's awesome. I mean, I have so many Queen albums. I'm a big fan, but I have to sit
What are
here.
you, a queen?
But I have to sit here. But I have to sit here and go. I have to try and remember. I don't know. Did the Doors movie get a Best Picture nomination? I mean, I wasn't alive when it came out, so I don't remember.
I don't know. I
But
have the
it's
DVD at home. It
amazing.
says a bunch of stuff on
It's
there.
an amazing movie. Well, Oliver Stone won for Platoon, so
Yeah.
I have to think he probably maybe did.
At least nominated.
It
for
probably.
Stuff.
I don't think that because I know it didn't win, but that movie's great.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah, it's
movie.
an
So I'm like,
amazing
if
movie.
Bohemian Rhapsody kind of does that kind of thing. That focuses on concerts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. It got a
Yeah.
Best
Oh,
Picture
yeah.
nomination. So
Not discredited.
and it has a really high IMDb score. So the common people liked it. And as
You
opposed
wanted to go
critics.
see it instead of A Star Is Born. You were like last
Well-
minute, like, dude, we could totally ditch A Star Is Born and go see Freddie Mercury.
I
Come on,
probably
let's go.
would've-
Well, no, it was the kind of thing where I was like,
Rather
thinking
watch
about
it. Like, you can hear
seeing
him
that
singing.
in theaters would be cool though.
Yeah.
It'd be like seeing Queen live, which that's really cool.
Well, you have, yeah. Why
But-
haven't you seen it?
because he saw
I
Stars.
saw, well, I saw Stars Born instead. No, Stars Born was great. Don't get me wrong. I actually think out of all the movies that are listed for Best Picture, I would personally vote for A Star Is Born for Best Picture. I mean, honestly, if I had to pick any movie, I would say Suspiria was my Best Picture of the Year nomination because no movie struck me exactly right like it did. Like everything the movie does, where it goes and all these things and where it takes you is such a me movie. And then Annihilation is such a me movie. And then in terms of like just getting to me, Hereditary I had nominated for Best Picture because holy shit, I had to move back 2 rows because it got me so bad because it was making my anxiety go crazy. And everything in that movie just really bothered me. And now I know I'm a huge horror movie fan, but that shouldn't I don't think it's even my bias here because here's the thing, when a horror movie's done great, it's hard to top.
Yeah.
When a horror movie's done bad, it's hard to go below it. I mean, The Nun was an abomination, so we had some terrible shit this year, don't get me wrong. But I just think, I hate that a horror movie in today's days never going to get a nomination for Best Picture when back in the day, The Exorcist got nominated, and that's an amazing movie as well. But I think Hereditary, Annihilation, Suspiria, I would say if you could nominate 10 movies, I say take Black Panther off, throw Hereditary, Suspiria, and Annihilation on. That's a great 10. And then I think out of that group, you have 6 or 7 movies that could win it. Meanwhile, this year, I really only think A Star Is Born, The Favorite, and Roma could win. And those are the top 3 of the bunch there. I mean, I would vote for A Star Is Born. I think The Favorite was fantastic, but I could see it being a little divisive because the humor is so its own thing that you're either going to get it or you're going to be like, what the hell am I watching? Which for me is the most awesome thing I could feel watching a movie, because when a movie truly and genuinely surprises you, there's no better feeling in my opinion. I think going exactly where I know it's going to go kind of tends to make me sit there and go, oh, well, this is the part where, yep, here we go. We're going here again. Yep. And that's my biggest problem with Black Panther is it's the same movie that Iron Man, Ant-Man, Captain America, Thor,
They've
Incredible
been building
Hulk,
up for 10 years, yeah.
all of those movies. I mean, it feels like a Phase 1 Marvel, and I thought the Phase 1 movies were kind of bad.
Yeah.
I laughed at a lot of them because, the CGI in those are terrible, and Black Panther has that feel. The CGI fight at the end of Black Panther made me audibly laugh. I couldn't control it. It looked like a PS2 cutscene.
I gotta see this.
It's
I keep
so
hearing about
bad.
it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up on the phone. But yeah,
Is the audio gonna be like a problem?
if it's in the middle thing, it'll catch it a little bit, but we should be fine.
Okay.
Black Panther end fight. I mean, I thought it was hilarious. Let's see. Yo, Dion, baby.
Is that it? No.
Okay, come here. Come around, Tom. All right. Yeah, it's...
No.
That looks straight up like the prequels level CGI right there. I'm sorry.
I can't see anything.
I know it's dark.
This is a dark scene,
So
yeah.
dark.
Tom, you're just being racist. Look at that.
Can you turn the brightness up?
Nope, this is how... Look at this. Look at this. This looks like Spawn from like...
It does.
It's so...
You weren't lying.
It's so bad.
Oh my god.
Oh. And that's why, like, you're supposed to be invested at this point, but, like, the whole movie, I just didn't care.
Yeah, the whole, like, I couldn't
Look at this.
follow it.
The
most of
CGI is
time.
so bad. Marvel CGI has always looked terrible. And that's why when Marvel fanboys are always dissing on DC, I'm like, at least DC has the Dark Knight
Yeah.
trilogy. Like, come on, man. Like, Best Picture, are you shitting me? All the audience is sitting there watching the scene with us, right? They gotta be.
You set up here safe and protected. You want to see us become just like the people you hate so much. Divide and conquer the land as dignity. I learned from my enemies. Beat them at their own game. You have become that. You will destroy the world. Wakanda included.
Alright,
The world
come
to
on. I
everything
want to see
want
more
to
of these cutscenes.
Everything I ever loved.
Yeah,
I'ma make sure we eat. I'ma track
Is it get worse?
well, see, here's the thing. Like, Michael B. Jordan's a great actor, and I love him in so many other things he's in. But I had somebody that were like, no, Black Panther's so original.
Wait, what was that? Did they just cut the black?
Well, yeah, because I went to other thing.
They
Like,
cut to another thing,
Yeah.
so they're just trying to keep on the fight.
Oh.
But yeah, no, look how bad this CGI is. This scene's awful.
yeah,
Just
you
can't
think
It looks
after
like
they
Beast
made
Wars. This looks like
Yeah.
Beast Wars.
It does.
And Beast Wars looked bad in '95. like, well, here's the thing: they could have had two actual people standing there and fighting instead of it's like a Halo minigame.
yeah.
Like Halo has better graphics than this movie has CGI, and this is a movie. I had somebody that were like, "This is the most original movie of the year," and I'm like, "It's literally Iron Man. It's literally Iron Man."
But it's empowering.
But not as good as Iron Man because Robert Downey Jr. was freaking awesome as
Yeah.
Iron Man. Oh no, he stabbed Killmonger. We're all supposed to care. But we just had that awful CGI, so we've been laughing.
So,
So
like-
that's the scene.
like
That's
basically,
the scene, yeah.
you're the whole drama of the scene is, oh, will he kill him or not? That's dumb.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
this isn't Tarantino. This
I
is
mean-
written by... I mean, here's the thing. I'm not even going to sit here and tell you, like... I'm not going to tell you Black Panther's a bad movie. I'd probably give it, like, a 6.5 rounded up to a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly fine movie that I think a lot of people could watch and enjoy. And I don't even think you shouldn't enjoy it. I think if you like Marvel movies, you're going to like this one because
Yeah.
they're all the same.
Yeah.
But
It's a part of the story. So
Best
like,
Picture's usually reserved for like a movie that challenged the industry, which this got nominated because they're saying it challenged it in the fact that they went with an all-black cast, which that's cool. But if you're going to give Black Panther a nomination, Crazy Rich Asians should have gotten a nomination because it went with an all-Asian cast.
now going back to the horror
And that was a better
movies.
movie.
Well, you know what? I will bring up the fact that I'm listening to Spike Lee's masterclass, and he talks about in it occasionally, you know, how hard it was, and I mean, I don't know, maybe still is, to get a black crew sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know, when you, because, or African American crew, because like there's a lot of unions and whatnot, or there, I know he said like back in one of his earlier films, you know, he had to really push to get more African American on the crew because, you know, the unions were like, this is how we do it, like we're keeping people we have on, we're not bringing on any, you know.
Well, I feel like
bit
that's part of why Black Panther is getting such big hype because it's empowering like the black community.
Yeah.
And it's a very like large black cast. There's
only
there's
Andy-
a couple white, like what?
Andy
There's-
Serkis is the Tolkien white
Yeah,
guy. But
yeah.
Did you see that joke where there was the Tolkien because he was Schmeagol in J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, and Martin Friedman played the Bilbo in the Hobbit movies. He's also in it, and they're the two white guys. They're the Tolkien white guys.
but that's kind of how it is with Wonder Woman in like the
Oh,
DC.
I actually thought Wonder
It's
Woman was pretty good.
Oh, it's a great movie, but it's empowering like women also, so it has that pull to it. So that's another.
Did that get
reason-
nominated for
No,
Best Picture?
I don't
Wonder
think
What
Woman
did it
it
get
did.
nominated? What did it get nominated for?
I don't think it got nominated for anything.
Oh, so we.
Because
It's a DC movie.
It's
Yeah,
DC,
no one-
and
no
it's
one-
also
Oh.
women.
Yeah.
It's women. Nobody likes women,
We're
right?
past that.
But we
now.
all
Let's-
love
oh,
women.
jeez.
Come on.
Yeah, women are
awesome.
Women are awesome. They're great.
Where would we be without them?
Tom's laughing over
You
here.
know, we named. I noticed we pigeonholed ourselves with this podcast name a little bit. If you think about it,
No.
guys talking about stuff. So we
guys
can never
doesn't
have
mean
women
men.
on this
Yeah,
show.
Guys
Yeah, you're-
doesn't mean women. Okay, my bad. Guys, and guys is an all-inclusive term because if you
Heard
think
it here,
about
no
guys.
matter-
it's kind of like dude. A
Yeah.
chick could be a dude.
Yeah.
She's one of the dudes. She's one of the guys. She's the group.
Yeah, no matter who's here talking, you're one of the guys talking. It
Well,
doesn't
yeah, and if
matter.
you're from
Yeah.
New York or New Jersey, it's use guyses. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
guyses.
Yeah,
There's
here-
no women.
Here in Pennsylvania, it's uses and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uses
yes.
and guyses.
Yeah.
We don't put them together, though.
Wait, so the title is now, or the name of the podcast now is
Guys talking about stuff.
Guys talking about
much quicker. Much
Yeah.
shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a full paragraph
Yeah.
to
It,
explain.
originally we were going with
Some
guys,
people, no, some people in a room talking about stuff.
stuff.
No, something.
It was so meta. It was
yeah,
so meta.
it's like, jeez.
Yeah, I was
cut it
telling him,
down.
I'm like, dude, that's
I'm pretty sure every
People thought
time
it was funny, though.
Alex brought it to me, I cut another word out of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is too much here. And then
And
like
then
he
we-
brought it back, and I was like, we should switch this here. And then it
And then
just became something more manageable. And
yeah. Well, because it kept the content. And the most pretentious thing ever, we kept our content while not sacrificing our values.
I'm really surprised that nobody else has used that name.
Yeah, no, like I searched
Really?
it like everywhere. There's no guys talking
There's no
about
like
stuff.
radio show somewhere. That,
I couldn't find anything.
oh, nice. Hey, if it works.
Yeah, I know. It's
we
simple.
got
I mean,
in there
I
real
still,
quick, luckily.
I
Yeah,
actually
we
Yeah.
went with a BuzzFeed article
Yeah.
title.
the what was it? The old one you had, Wolfpack Radio. That kind of grew on me. I was like, I kind of like.
Oh,
that.
now
And
after
then-
it's too late. Now he likes it.
It's too late.
Yeah.
But no,
But
no.
here's the-
Somebody had that, so we couldn't.
Oh,
use it.
really?
You said
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's right.
You
Mark,
told
Mark,
me.
Mark.
That's.
Yeah, Wolfpack.
Okay.
Wolfpack podcast.
You're like, oh, really? You told me.
Things go in one ear, go out the other.
But it came out of your mouth.
All right. Let's get back on
So did
topic.
you,
Yeah, let's get
Tom.
back
You-
on.
Well, you were
how did we
saying
get to real?
Okay,
how horror movie. You don't think horror movies
Horror
can
movies
get as
never-
much pull nowadays, but
horror,
you think
sci-fi,
do you
fantasy.
think that that's because like horror movies have lost some of their pull? Because
Credibility.
back when The Exorcist came out and all that stuff,
mean,
there
it-
wasn't anything like that, so
Well-
it was scary, like
Oh,
legitimately,
People
like
were blown away.
yeah.
By the well, and here's the other thing about The Exorcist.
What about?
It's actually a great movie. So like,
Oh
first
yeah,
of all,
I mean,
it's
I'm not
fantastic.
discrediting
you're forgetting
how good
about
the
Bird
movie
Box.
is.
Get out of here, Tom. Yeah, Bird Box should have had a Best Picture nomination. Yo, where's A Quiet Place? Why did A Quiet Place not get nominated?
Oh, that's on there somewhere.
No, A Quiet Place is good, and it got some nominations.
Yeah.
And A Quiet Place was good, but for me, like Annihilation, Suspiria, and Hereditary were phenomenal movies in every sense of the word.
I'm a fan of Emily Blunt and John Krasinski.
Oh no, they were a
Yeah,
great
they're
team,
great.
and it's a good movie, and it's kind of heartfelt. I don't want to ruin A Quiet Place.
No, I haven't. No.
It's emotional, man. You gotta keep quiet.
People, wait,
Why
well,
would you make noise?
Oh, you ruined it.
Dude, shush. I don't want
Spoilers.
to know.
Spoiler
I
cast
do not
here.
want to know because I haven't seen it yet.
I bet someone says something that dies in it.
You know what? Come on.
You know what happens? You know how it ends?
Don't fucking.
A Quiet Place and Vice have the same ending.
No,
Dick Cheney shoots a guy.
Oh my
Dick
God.
Cheney shoots an alien. and he's like, I thought it was George. My bad.
Your computer went to sleep.
No, it's still recording.
still
Turns
Okay.
into Mars Attacks.
It's just cool.
I can't check my mic levels now.
okay. I think let's
So we gotta be good.
let's move.
Unless Tom, you want to go and like wiggle on the. Whip it out and wiggle it. Come on, Tom. just no, a little bit more, Tom. You gotta. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're good.
We're
Test it.
having fun here.
All right, so for Best Picture, we'll just quickly sum it up. This is the biggest category. It's the one that people tune in like
Yeah.
when there's only like 20 minutes left because they want to see who are the best actors, who's Best Picture, get it over with. Yes, I think out of everything here, I would put my vote in on A Star Is Born. I have a feeling I have a feeling Roma's gonna win. Because it's timely with kind of the wall and all that bullshit going on.
I'm definitely on board with A Star Is Born winning Best Picture, but then
It
again, I
might-
do feel like my opinion's a bit biased because I just fucking love that movie.
Oh, it was great.
So,
I really liked it. I mean, I have a feeling. I kind of hope it does. I hope The Favorite wins because in terms of what was the most original movie I saw this year,
Oh, I still gotta see that, man.
The Favorite is the most original comedy I've seen in a long time. Maybe, I don't want to say ever, but maybe of the decade or
What-
at least, or maybe the century.
What was the
I-
one you were going to see? But
I was gonna go see Dragon Ball Super Brawly, which I saw yesterday
what did-
because I was able to see it, but I saw The Favorite instead.
what did was that the same one Duncan went to see? But they
Yeah,
gave him the wrong
Duncan went to
ticket for?
see. No,
Why isn't he
w-
here to tell us about
Yeah,
this?
he went to see Dragon Ball
Duncan.
Super Brawly. We both went to see it. We both got screwed. And instead, he saw Glass, but I enjoyed Glass too. I don't think it's going to be for next year, but I don't think
enjoy
it's going to get
Sean
a
in
Best
that?
Picture nomination.
You enjoy Sean
Yeah,
in
our
that?
friend Sean's in. He's in Glass.
Look-
He's
look
the
for the lifeguard who
saves
saves-
Bruce Willis.
Kid Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Kid Brill. Kid Bruce Willis.
Brukidilus.
He saves Brandon. Will.
I think it'd be good to point out that there's 3 music movies.
Yeah,
in
3
Best
music
Picture.
movies. Yeah, how crazy is it that we have 3 music movies get nominated this year? We have Bohemian Rhapsody, which is the Queen movie. We have A Star Is Born, and then we have Green Book. So it's really interesting to see 3 music-related movies get nominated in an era when nobody cares about the quality of the music they're listening to.
I think it's only you.
No,
You're the only one who talks about
I'm
it.
the only one who complains about. I know tons of
just
people
messing
No, a
with
lot
you,
of
man.
who
people,
complain
yeah.
about the quality of music. I'm a musician and I complain about the
You know what's
quality.
really strange? I've actually it's become a part of my routine that I have to listen to that big playlist I have filled with like the best of like Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and what's the other one?
To brainwash
Pink Floyd's
himself
gotta
into
be in.
Floyd's in
knowing
there.
that's good
and
music.
I have like a
You're welcome,
massive
Tom.
playlist of
Yeah.
that. And actually, when I don't listen to it, when I listen to something else, like my writing gets terrible. Like I just get in a worse mood for some reason. So I'm like, and now I have to. It's become part of my routine.
You have
See,
to listen to
that's,
good music.
That's because you're
Yeah.
listening to people that are creating things
Yes.
instead of
Yeah.
following
Yes.
a formula that
Yeah.
people
And
are
it rubs
doing
off on
nowadays.
you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's just it's really weird. Down to the music you listen to, down to the movies you watch,
Yeah.
down to whatever books you read or things you expose yourself to. The people behind that, they're when you expose yourself to material made by somebody else, you're exposing yourself to their mindset, to their state of being, and it rubs off on you.
Yeah, so if they dumb themselves down, you're
Yeah.
also starting to.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
dumbing yourself down.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. So yeah, I always keep that in mind.
It's good. Let's move on to lead actor now. Yeah. Christian Bale in Vice. If you haven't seen a picture of Dick Cheney and Christian Bale next to each other,
It's pretty crazy.
it is like spot on.
I want to look this up right now.
It's in.
Yeah, Christian Bale put
Oh,
on
so-
all the weight so he could look like Dick Cheney.
And then
That's
they told him that he
dedication.
didn't need to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, you read? Did I? Yeah, I told this story. I think of him doing Batman. It's like Christopher Nolan's like, I want you to get big, and he didn't know what that meant really, so he just got. He
He
ate a lot
added
of
on
shit.
a bunch of weight, and he had to bring
And he's
it
like,
back off.
"Oh, you're not gonna
yeah.
fit in the bat suit now."
Like,
And they had to
you
get
said
him-
get big.
Yeah.
I
Like,
meant
P90X that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christian Bale is one of the most determined like actors in trying to fill the physical demands.
Well, yeah,
of
when
the
you
role.
seen what was the movie he got really
like
Machinist.
mechanic, yeah.
no the movie where he had like a big pot belly, or was it
Dark Knight Rises.
no,
I know what he's talking about.
It's with Amy Adams,
Oh, American
Jeremy Renner.
Hustle.
Yeah, American
Yeah,
Hustle.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was good. That was
Yeah.
a good one.
yeah,
He
and
got
the-
a huge
that
beer
movie
belly for
started
that.
the indie craze because people didn't like actually go and see indie
The
movies
toupee.
until
Oh my God.
American Hustle, and then it like changed the game. But then you think about it, John Cassavetes changed the game in like 1960 something to an independent movie. So let's not act like American Hustle's the only thing
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
It was independent and it changed the world. It's like no, it did get recognition, which is crazy. Got 10 nominations that year.
Yeah.
And independent movies like never get nominations.
Whoa.
That's kind of why Annihilation and Suspiria didn't get nominations. They were smaller movies. Hereditary, the same thing, because A24 can't pay the money to buy
Holy
voters.
crap.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I just found that picture
Dick
of
Cheney actually has like a thicker neck, and I remember Christian Bale saying he had to do like neck workouts to get his neck to the thickness of Dick Cheney's.
That's
It's just
crazy.
yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, he's a very dedicated actor.
No, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely deserves a shot at
Mm-hmm.
this lead actor. So I'm gonna say him, Rami Malek.
Christian Bale says Trump thought he was actually Bruce Wayne.
No, oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no,
I think
it's
you guys peaked.
Yeah.
it's fine. I have us so we're not quite clipping.
Rami
so.
Malek and
Yeah, he became
Bayham.
Freddie Mercury,
Yeah.
man. That's dedication too. Yeah, wow. And then I haven't seen it yet, but Willem Dafoe and At Eternity's Gate. I've
William
heard good
Dafoe
things.
in everything that he's in, like when he was in
Boondock Saints. In that movie, he was Willem Dafoe, though.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't Willem Dafoe.
Boondock Saints, in Steve Zissou's Life Aquatic.
Yeah, Life Aquatic.
Yeah,
Oh, great. Oh.
Spider-Man. He was he was. They put him in a mask, and he is the one actor that like never should be put in a mask because he's the most expressive
Oh,
actor.
yeah. Oh, he's great. I mean, he's great in everything from, well, Martin Scorsese worked with him when he did Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic movie, but you have to be in the mood for, like, I don't even know how to put that movie into words. Everybody lost their mind when that came out back in the day because
one's
it was
losing
kind
their
of
mind.
it's kind of controversial because there's a scene where, spoiler alert,
He gets raped.
I
What?
what
Is it right?
what?
I'm kidding.
Well, now I'm
Shawshank
not going to say
Redemption.
anything. Nothing, yeah, Shawshank,
Yeah.
there we go. Now I can't say anything because it's not gonna be as gripping
took
as
your- I'm sorry,
Jesus
I
getting
took-
raped. How do you? That's horrifying. Wow, that's worse. Anyway, check that
just
movie
lost
out there.
the
There's
whole
no
audience.
Jesus rape. You know, my favorite movie of the year it was Black Panther. There was no Jesus rape. and we've already been banned from ever going to the Bible Belt now. So. Oklahoma's like,
It's
we
all
don't
my
want
fault.
you here.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you, Tom.
Bradley Cooper is also
Bradley Cooper
nominated.
was great in A Star Is Born. I thought he really did a really good job in that. I heard he really worked on his guitar playing game so he could actually do the guitar stuff, and you
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell because he's
You-
actually doing the right
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like,
Dude, I wanted to walk out of the
good.
theater, and you were like, no, I gotta jam out to Bradley Cooper.
yeah, the music was so good in A Star Is Born. It was really good.
And when everybody cleared out of the theater, he just started like jamming out to it, and I'm like, dude, come on, I want to go home.
Well, Tom was over there, and he looked like he just told him Grandma died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh.
Tom was kind of shell shocked, but he was also kind of like, that movie, it was so good. And meanwhile, like, the women behind us were weeping so loud. They were like, oh my God! Yeah, they were like, we were sitting in the theater when it just cut to the end credits, and you could just hear, like, it sounded like what, like, the hospital floor where all the hospice people are on probably sounds like. There's so much weeping and stuff.
Jesus,
We-
it's got morbid.
Gotta go dark.
Yeah.
The only way to beat the other people in comedy is by going darker, man.
Spilled some water in my glass.
Tom leaked. He leaked his ooze on the table.
He's messing up.
He got some ectoplasm on my.
You ever actually play like poker on here?
Yeah. We're doing this at a poker table, so like, I got my poker face on.
Yeah, we'll
Hey,
play it,
speaking of
we'll play
poker
it.
face, lead actress
Yeah.
is Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady
Dude, that was a
Gaga.
really good
Another for
segue.
this. A Star Is Born.
The Star Is
I
Born. Lady
set you
Gaga.
up there, man.
Yeah, it was perfect. My poker face. You know, because you know what? It goes Beatles, Elvis, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Lady Gaga. Everybody else, no. Believe me. No, I'm joking. I'm not. No, she was actually really good in A Star Is Born. And I actually think Lady Gaga, for like a modern pop star, kind of sticks true to herself more than the other people do.
Yeah.
She does her own thing. She's not bought and sold. She seems passionate about it. Now she's passionate. She has a Madonna complex going on that I think messes with her. I think she'd be a better artist if she lost that.
What do you mean by that?
Like if Lady Gaga stopped being Madonna-ish, she might be able to do
I mean,
some stuff. She did
define-
stuff with Tony Bennett that was great.
Yeah.
Well, she is branching out more
She's a
now,
great
you know?
singer too. She was fantastic doing country music,
Yeah.
and the country music was like country blues rock kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
actually really freaking
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
She also had a lot of writers, come help out, like the best she could find.
yeah,
So.
yeah, and she does good collaboration stuff.
Yeah.
She always has. So, and it's the kind of thing where,
You
I
just
think
you
she's
just
been
want her
wor-
to do stuff like Pink Floyd. Or,
no, I don't think she could ever. This is not insulting her.
she could do synth stuff with her mouth.
What?
It's
I feel like she could do something like a little more rock and roll, and I think it'd work for her if she lost a little bit of that Madonna boys behind her dancing thing,
Yeah.
and went a little bit more. I don't want to
What,
say
you don't
Elton
like the
John,
boys behind
but
her
like
dancing thing?
Elton John. Like I like Elton John. Like I really like a lot of his stuff. Billy
He's a good
Joel, that
musician.
kind of stuff, where it's like rock and roll, but it's also pop kind
Yeah.
of thing, like a Paul McCartney kind of
yeah.
thing. Get some Joni Mitchell in there. That's always funny whenever I talk about women artists. It always turns to Joni Mitchell, but she was so good.
Yeah, I mean, if she just took some of the the poppy, very poppy aspect out and made it more like underground feel the way that
Yeah.
it used to be, yeah, she could actually open up a lot of new music to a lot of different people. Like,
Well, just like I wish Adele did a little bit more rock and roll stuff because her voice would sound fantastic with
Yeah.
it. But she's
Wow.
no, she's not gonna like Lane Staley you do it. But she's gonna I think she could do like a cool kind of like 60s R&B rock kind of
Yeah.
thing. I think that'd be kind of cool. But this is me. We're getting distracted.
Back to
Yeah,
lead actress.
let's do another one.
Back to the actresses.
Well, there's still one more lead actor
we
that
gotta
was.
do,
Viggo Mortensen.
we got to do Aragorn.
Viggo Mortensen. Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen. I heard he's really good in Green Book. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen him for a long time. Has he been?
He's been in a bunch of stuff, but he's doing all these indie movies. Green Book's kind of an indie movie too. That's why it's kind of shocking it got a nomination. But
I think the last movie I saw from him was like Hidalgo.
Hidalgo.
That was a good movie though.
Oh yeah.
But like it just
But-
disappeared after.
He's
like,
done. He did. Oh my gosh, he did one a couple years
I mean,
back.
there's.
That was a comedy that's really funny. I can't remember what it's called. He's in like a red jacket thing, and they're in a bus. They're traveling.
Yeah.
It's something. It's fantastic something or other. I don't know why I'm blanking on this. It was good. He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He's always
I mean,
good.
he's a great
Fantastic
actor.
Mr.
No, it's not Fantastic Mr.
Yeah.
Fox. I would.
No, I wasn't even
That was
saying
someone
that.
else.
It's like
That was-
Fantastic Mr. Something. I don't know.
Wasn't that Bill Murray
it
or
is.
something?
You know what? We got this. Keep them distracted, crew. Do it. Keep talking. Just think of something. Oh!
In terms of the nominees this year, I personally don't have like really strong feelings about anything except I know like I really want A Star Is Born to win something. It needs to win something.
Is that the only movie you've seen, Nasty?
How did you know? I mean,
I want.
Oh yeah, I had to make a
everyone
note of
know.
something. In the 2018 episode, we forgot to talk, or I forgot to bring it up. Bernardo Bertolucci died. He's a really famous director. He did a lot of fantastic movies. So I just wanted to bring that up too for like a rest in peace.
Including-
like
2018.
which ones?
Yeah.
I would know about.
Yeah, you would know him. Let me just. He had done The Last Emperor, that one Best Picture. He did Last Tango in Paris with Marlon Brando. The Conformist, which is really good.
Yeah, I got to see that
He did
It's on my list.
a lot of like art films in his later years, but he did let's see, what's the more mainstream stuff you would know him from? He did 1900, which is like 5 hours and 20 minutes long. It's a masterpiece, but it's 5 hours and 20 minutes long. He did a lot of like really kind of crazy kind of Bergman-y, he had his own style, but I just trying to put him in a category like.
Do you think there was ever a movie called 2000 that came out in the year 2000? So it'd be like 2000 and in
There was a bunch of
2000.
stuff. Well, there's a lot of movies. They did like Heavy Metal 2000.
But you
they did a
know
bunch
what I
of other
mean?
Things like
just thought it'd be
2000,
funny.
2000. Captain Fantastic was the movie with Viggo Mortensen in it.
Captain Fantastic.
I think that got nominated for Best Picture that year. Yeah, it got nominated for Best Performance from Viggo Mortensen.
of course.
Let's check out Viggo Mortensen. He has to have an Oscar. Nominated for 3. Let me guess.
Well, I mean, he did.
Eastern Promises, Captain Fantastic, and Green Book. He didn't get nominated for any of the Lord
Yeah,
of the Rings
there's
movies?
the Lord of the Rings. There's,
What?
There's like a history
Those
of
movies
violence.
won
There's
all the
yeah.
they
There's
they
so
won
many
all the
movies.
awards. Yeah, History of Violence
Yeah.
is great. Eastern Promises
Yeah.
is great. I love David Cronenberg, so for me, I'm like, you give me Viggo Mortensen and Cronenberg together, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And it was. So, yeah, Eastern Promises. I hope that got.
Yeah,
a
I'm actually
nomination.
surprised he didn't get anything for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Eastern Promises got nominated for Best Performance Viggo Mortensen. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's get back to this. So,
Yeah, let's move back to
Captain
lead actresses.
Fantastic was the thing. So lead actresses. So back to that. Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born. She was great. Yalitza Aparicio for Roma. She was really good. Glenn Close. I didn't see The Wife. Olivia Colman was great in The Favorite. She was really funny because there's so many moments in that movie that just everything's fine, and then she just like freaks out on everybody. And there's a moment where it's something with her appearance, and Rachel Weisz tells her that she looks like a badger, and she's like, "Oh, get out of here!" And then she tells a boy to come over and to tell her how she looks, and she goes, "Boy, do I look like a badger?" And he looks at her, and he's like, "Don't look at me, look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me." And then he's like, "Yes," and he's like, "Go away." It's just, it's a pretty funny movie, and there's just all kind of freak out shit that she does in that movie. And The Favorite, I mean, if that one's Best Picture, I'm not going to be mad. I think there will be some people, because some people did not get the humor. some people took the movie completely at face value, and they were like, "This was a nice, serious movie." I thought it was hilarious. There's another movie that I think could have been Best Picture worthy. Had a lot of people not freaked out about it. House That Jack Built. That's my last thing I'm going to bring up with a Best Picture. Hilarious movie, but it's a movie about a serial killer like killing children and women and stuff. But it's so sadistic.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But I could see somebody watching that movie and being like, just grabbing their chair like, what are you showing me? It's kind of like American Psycho.
Yeah.
And like, it's so sadistic, but it's just so fucking funny because it's just like the shit with like, yeah, have you listened to Huey Lewis's album Sports? It's like, and then
Oh my God.
he actually just,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh my God, that's
I
the
love American
best.
Psycho so much. And that's why that movie, That Jack Built, was so up my alley.
Yeah.
But it's a movie that you're either going to love it or you're going to freaking hate it because you think it's like almost like a snuff film. But, yeah, I thought there was some good comedy stuff this year. It was just really original. It wasn't like that we're going on an adventure and there's going to be humor on the way. I'm like, we've been doing that since Stan and Ollie came. You know, they were big comedians in, the 20s and 30s. So, yeah, which that they did a movie for Stan and Ollie, and I think that just came out. That's one I do want to see.
Yeah.
And it's got John C. Reilly in it.
Oh, yeah.
Who was also in that Holmes and Watson movie.
I heard that movie was like the worst movie ever, but like I'd still want to give it a chance. Like I still
Yeah.
haven't seen it, so like
it's really awful.
Yeah?
It's not. It's.
is
See,
it as bad as people say it is?
Do you remember the movie Year One? You remember that movie that came out?
Yes, yeah.
I think Year One's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't think it was funny, Year One's a horrible movie.
It is.
Holmes and
a horrible
Watson
movie, yeah.
makes Year One look like a Best Picture nominee. It was so unfunny that like the only way you could possibly like the movie is if you thought like the worst jokes were funny
Yeah.
and like the Queen farts and it's like ha ha ha, ha laugh, please laugh. It's like nobody's laughing at this joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holmes and Watson was terrible, but John C. Reilly was also in another movie last year. He was in Sisters Brothers, which I had a lot of people tell me is really good Western
Yeah.
that nobody went to see.
I mean, John C. Reilly, he is a good like.
He's good when he wants to be.
Yeah. You know, I feel like him and Will Ferrell just mess around. They just, I feel like
Yeah.
they made that and they just didn't care if it made it or not. They just had fun with it.
I have a nice segue from the Holmes and Watson shit to, for lead actress, Melissa McCarthy got nominated for Can You Ever Forgive Me, which I didn't see it. I don't know anything about that movie. I'm not going to pass judgment. She was in The Happy Time Murderers, which involves Muppets fucking, doing coke and shit, and like all kinds of craziness. And it got nominated for 10 Golden Raspberries for the worst in every category. So it might sweep the Razzies. But
Yeah.
she might win Best Actress and Worst Actress in the same year. That's only ever happened one time before, I believe.
Wait. So this
That'd
you're
be actually
saying
kinda cool
Happy
to
Halle
Time-
Berry did it. She did
Wait.
Black
Monsters Ball. She
Black-
won for, and Catwoman.
yeah, Catwoman,
she
yeah.
got
Did
Worst
Happy
my
Time
Actress.
Murder
God.
come out this year?
Yeah, that was 2018.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Jeez.
Jim Henson's I think it was Jim Henson's son directed it or grandson or something. But here's the thing: there's some good stuff in that movie, but there's so much bad stuff.
It's
it
weird.
Just
I
makes
heard
you
I heard
wish
of
you
that
weren't
movie
watching it.
like a week, and then it just vanished.
Well, yeah, you realize it has like a 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a Metascore like 20, and the audience scores like a 33.
Yeah.
And this is the people who wanted to see Happy Time Murders,
Yeah.
in which the trailer showed two Muppets fucking.
In the trailer.
You went. Well, because it's not people, so it's okay. Just like the Animal Planet can show two fucking geese getting it on with a corkscrew wiener going somewhere, and that's perfectly fine. But you show a boob, and it's got to be on late night or on HBO.
Unless it's artistic, then they can. Get
Unless
away
it's
with it.
artistic, then it's on Sundance. But
Yeah, yeah.
then it's freaking HBO. Like, there's nobody I know that watch HBO for the quality of their television. They're just like, there's boobs in Game of Thrones, and I like them. No, Game of Thrones is a great show. I haven't sat down to really like watch through it. I saw the first 3 seasons.
I've watched the first episode.
You're like, the boobs were okay, but
I watched the first episode, and then literally every single person that comes up to me, they're like, "Yeah, incest," and then they get naked all the time, and it's just like I can watch porn.
Like I can watch Lord of the Rings, pause it
Yeah.
every 25 minutes,
And
watch,
I
some,
watch some
porn,
porn.
so I get better quality film, better porn,
Yeah,
and I don't have to see so many wieners
exactly.
or just.
Not discrediting
I mean,
the storyline.
tell me if I'm wrong.
No, there's not that
Tell me I'm
many.
wrong.
They
Listen
cut
to
one
this.
off though.
The game. Here's the thing about Game of Thrones.
I gotta.
I'm gonna get killed for saying this, but Game of Thrones is literally the prequels. It's just people sitting and talking politics for like hours.
Uh-oh.
It's literally the Star Wars prequels that everybody shits on, but with boobs and more violence.
So they got people to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh,
All right, let's get back on
let's
track.
get back on track.
What?
That's supporting
So,
actors.
supporting actor Mahershala Ali's great in everything he's in. He deserved a win for Moonlight. He was fantastic in that movie, and I do think Moonlight was fantastic. I just thought maybe La La Land should have won that year because La La Land. I mean Damien Chazelle. Every movie he's done, I thought was A+ material. So I do want to see First Man.
I also want to see that.
Do you think that? No, bear with me for a second.
Oh,
Do you
no.
think that possibly
One.
That
You
whole
went way
Moonlight?
past a second.
that La La Land Moonlight thing was planned?
with
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
saying Moonlight and then saying La La Land and,
And
then
they like faked the whole thing straight about like, oh, it was a lawyer or whatever. This is like grassy knoll shit right now.
yeah, I have to. Well, because it's weird. That's still one of the craziest moments in Oscar history.
Exactly.
Because you have to sit there and go.
Because
like,
if it was planned, that
I mean, they got so much talk about it.
oh yeah.
But here's the thing.
But it would have hurt their reputation, so I don't know why they would do that.
I mean, you can't buy that kind of publicity. And the best
No.
part about it was. I
mean, if you needed a way
2017,
to
and
get
it was because
the Oscars back into
they had
people's
it was
minds.
Faye Dunaway and who was the guy?
But I was watching that
It was
live.
them from they were I watched
and
it
that
live
was
too.
That was crazy.
They were in it was Bonnie and Clyde's 50th anniversary, so they had Faye Dunaway and why am I blanking on the guy's name? You should know this, Tom.
Wait, what
You've
were we
seen
talking
Bonnie
about?
and Clyde, right?
Bonnie and Clyde, yeah.
Who's the lead actor in Bonnie and Clyde?
why can't I remember his name?
Yeah, I know, he's very
something
famous.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty, yeah, a really good actor.
Yeah.
Warren Beatty looked at the thing and was like, this isn't right. Meanwhile, apparently Faye Dunaway was just like, let's get this shit over with. It was like, it's
like, what are you doing? Stop being
La
funny.
La Land. And it's like, and then they read it. It's like, no, it had said Emma Stone for La La Land,
Yeah.
which they'd given her an actress one again. But you have to sit there and go, like, how does that happen? But it's like, La La Land, I thought should have won. But Damien Chazelle's walking up there like, oh, he just won Best Picture. And not only do they take that away from him, but then Black Panther gets nominated or First Man doesn't. It's like, hey, Damien Chazelle, you know that one you should have won? Well, you're not even getting nominated this time.
What about the whole flag
Yeah, people lost their shit on
Controversy.
First Man because of the...
controversy? Yeah.
There's controversy. 'cause
You
they
think maybe
don't
that has
show the
something to
flag
do with
being
it?
planted. Well, no, from what I gathered...
They're trying not to seem too liberal, so they end up going with Black Panther.
Well, what they could be doing with that is trying
no,
to do
apparently
more
they-
of like a stance of humans instead of just
I thought the
America.
flag did get planted because I'm pretty sure in the movie, from what I heard, the flag does get planted. It's just not in the trailer. And people lost their shit because they wanted to have that
Really?
American... Yeah, that's what I heard. Because I heard people were just like stroking their dicks like, oh, they're not planting the flag! Oh! It's like...
For the viewers out there, you're really lucky this isn't videotaped.
yeah,
Not a great image.
But it might be soon.
yeah.
I'm not filming it.
I'm not filming it. My name's Tom. I only do real movies.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move
no,
on.
no,
We got
I
a lot
might.
to get
Well,
through.
yeah, we do
here.
have a lot to get through. So
I just
we'll
feel like
zoom through.
I feel like if I film it though, it's gonna be harder for me to.
You just
to
set a
be in
camera.
it.
You just set two cameras up. You do shot, reverse shot.
Yeah, you don't have
I'm
to
not
move
cutting
it.
it.
You don't move it.
I'm not cutting.
Dude, like that's.
That would be like 3 whole hours of work, and I'd ruin my meditation.
We'll just use our cell phones and fuck Tom.
Yeah, fuck Tom.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck
we
Tom.
get like one camera.
Tom's
put it
barely a
up.
person.
I'm just saying.
I'm
That's
joking with you.
dude. What they do in like the Joe Rogan podcast, that's a lot of work. That's
It
a lot
doesn't
of
Oh, it
matter.
is. We're
It
not
doesn't
gonna get to
matter.
that point right away.
Like that means that
Dude,
takes over.
Stop comparing yourself to Joe Rogan.
You're like, he's like, we won't be
No,
as good
I'm
as
not.
one of the best podcasts.
You
It's
wanted to
like-
make the
They've
the
been
name
doing
of it. I
it
can't
for
believe it's
so
not Joe
long.
Rogan.
I
Yeah,
said that
right.
would be funny if
But no,
we
I'm
did
just
that.
saying.
we would get sued
in terms
so
of what
fast.
you
Oh
do.
yeah, Joe Rogan would be like, "Who are these idiots?"
Yeah.
We'd get listeners quick, but that'd be doing the Greta Van Fleet approach.
But you know what I'm saying? It takes more. It's like a. It's like
Well,
editing
no.
a
What
movie.
we'll probably do is, I mean, since I figure a lot of the episodes,
Because you have
are
to
gonna,
watch all that.
a lot of the episodes are
cut
just
it.
Tom.
Dude, it would be one.
I got the
camera
talking
angle most of
stick.
the
I have the talking.
All right.
So,
Talk.
are you done now? I'd like everybody to pause this podcast and think about this.
No, keep it going.
All right. So anyway,
Wait, I thought you were gonna
Well,
say
we're-
something.
we're gonna set a camera up and it's gonna shoot and it's gonna be me and Kevin talking into the microphone.
Yeah, and
so.
you'll be facing probably.
And you'll be on the other
Yeah.
side of the camera,
Yeah.
so nobody's looking at you.
I'm the better looking of you guys.
Oh,
Oh, I would doubt that. I doubt that.
the human trash can.
Yeah.
Tom.
I mean, just listen to his voice. You can tell.
He just looks like a douche, you know. But so to run through the rest here. So for supporting actors, we had Mahershala Ali for Green Book. He's always good. Adam Driver was great in Black Klansman. Sam Elliott, I thought, was amazing in A Star Is Born and his stuff. He got really emotional in a few parts, and it really carried some of those scenes. He brought a lot to it, and I think he has a chance to win. Richard E. Grant, I don't know what Can You Ever Forgive Me is. I'm looking this up right now. I'm like, what is this movie? Sam Rockwell in Vice, I heard, is really good. Which makes a lot of sense because Sam Rockwell's good in just about everything he's in. I even like him in Galaxy Quest. He's Guy in Galaxy Quest.
Like that
he's so
movie,
funny in
that
that
was
movie.
like a
Oh.
cheesy movie, but it was a good
It's
movie.
so much fun.
It was a
It's
great
so
movie.
much fun. I love Galaxy Quest. Oh. Let's see. Can you ever forgive me? All right. Can you ever forgive me? Oh, okay. I heard this. Okay. It's Melissa McCarthy. She looks like Michael Moore. Doesn't she look like Michael Moore? With Get off my lawn. No, she looks like if Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino just like stopped caring about himself.
Let me see this. Let me see this. How does that Clint Eastwood?
No, it is. It's funnier than the movie was. Yeah, it's because it's a drama. Celebrity biographer Lee Israel makes her living profiling the likes of Katharine Hepburn, Tallulah Bankhead, Estee Lauder, and journalist Dorothy Kilgallen. When Lee is no longer able to get published because she has fallen out of step with the current taste, she turns her art form to deception, abetted by her loyal friend, Jack. Well, yeah, okay, we got that out of the way, so, no, that might be interesting. Supporting actresses, we have Amy Adams for Vice, which Amy Adams is great in everything.
I would
she's
believe
in.
that. Yeah, she's
I
a great
thought she was
actor.
great in
Who directed
Arrival.
Vice? Who directed Vice? Wasn't it
The guy who did The
American
Big Short.
Hustle? No, okay.
What did you say?
I wasn't sure if like it felt like a lot of the same cast from American Hustle, so I was like, is it?
Nah, actually, give me 1 second. Vice was directed by Adam McKay, the man behind The Other Guys, The Big Short.
The other guys. Right?
He wrote Ant-Man. He helped. He helped write Ant-Man with Edgar Wright. Step Brothers.
Maybe he should have done Watson Holland.
yeah. Anchorman.
So he actually did some pretty good
Talladega
stuff.
Nights. Oh no, he acted in Talladega. We'll see if he's in that. Secession. Looks like a TV show. He directed Anchorman 2. Eastbound and Down. Yeah, he did do Step Brothers.
So he made some successful.
Yeah, wow.
comedies.
So he'd done a whole bunch of comedy stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. So, I did not realize he was the guy behind like all of those Will Ferrell movies back in the day. Yeah, and I say back in the day like it was that long ago.
Like,
but
yeah,
like
not
for
that long
us,
ago.
10 years ago,
Yeah.
it was like half a life ago. Big Short was really good, though. And Vice, yeah. Yes, we got that. So, Vice, I heard Wolfgang really liked Vice. He thought it was good. But we have Marina de Tavira. Everybody in Roma was really good, and I'll say that. I think Alfonso Cuarón did a really much better job than he did on Gravity. Here's the thing. I have a bunch of friends who thought Gravity was so amazing. They're like, I saw it in IMAX.
great.
It was so credible. And then I watched it on my computer, and I'm like, this movie's not good.
Well, that's because you watched
I
it on
know.
the computer.
I know,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
like the movie itself was like Sandra Bullock was just like trying to grab onto anything, and I was laughing.
That was actually.
I was laughing.
It was back in a time where I was kind of learning about how.
I mean, stuff looked cool, but the part with George Clooney, if she would have unbelted George Clooney,
Well,
he would have just floated there because they're in
Here's the thing.
space.
Look, my
Aaron
I
Sorkin
wish-
Their
said-
hair still has
I really
gravity.
wish
though.
I saw that in IMAX because, when you experience something like that would be that's the closest you come to experiencing being in space. When you have like when you're
I mean,
seeing
that's
that.
awesome. But
And,
2001:
but,
A Space
and,
Odyssey,
and,
man.
and being the idea of being in space though is such an experience. Like
2001 is an experience.
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It just
but like Gravity has a 97 Metascore, and 2001: A Space Odyssey has like an 85 because there's 3 butthurt critics who are like, it's pretentious and full of itself. And meanwhile, it's like, you're pretentious and full of yourself. And if you read these people's reviews, the people who complain about pretentious movies are the most pretentious people on the planet.
And scientifically, that movie wasn't the most.
Wait, which one?
accurate.
Gravity. Yeah, 2001's actually incredibly accurate,
Yeah.
especially for 1968. It was more accurate than the actual science books
yeah.
were.
Wait, we didn't
He faked the moon landing, man.
we didn't go to space before that movie came out, right? Or after?
We hadn't been to the moon before 2001 came out.
But we've seen what it's like from outer space, right?
Yes.
What year did that come out?
Yeah.
So, 2001 was
so they
68,
knew-
and they went to the moon in 69.
They knew
Yeah,
what
but
the Earth looked like.
They've had knowledge of. how it
People
looked
have been
like,
to outer
because, yeah,
space since Yuri
the fir-
Gagarin.
yeah,
So
the
they knew
first
what the
50s,
Earth looked
yeah.
like from outer space because I was actually
They did.
surprised by that, like or something.
Watch it 2001, you're like, holy hell! How'd they know that the Earth was round?
Yeah, I mean,
we
they-
had
Right?
no idea until then.
Yeah, they've sent people up since the.
Yeah, the 50s. Yuri Gagarin
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
first man in
The
space.
Russians
for
were the first
I just
ones.
remember watching. I'm like, they weren't to the moon before this, because when it was the moon picture
The
that
Russians
really
were
showed
ahead of
people.
us every step
But you know
up
what I mean?
until we got to the moon.
Do you know that classic picture of of Earth from the moon? That like when that got released, everybody became so Earth conscious and shit. Like that was what I was thinking like about when it came to like they didn't have that picture for reference back then, but I'm sure there's probably other pictures.
Yeah,
They would've had other
it'll
pictures.
It depends on how far away you are.
You know
from
what's so
Earth.
funny?
I forget what they did in 2001.
We're
for
so
the
interested
Earth.
in space and all this stuff, and none of us went to see First Man. Like, what the hell?
I know.
I know.
I'm a space
I hate
nerd,
myself.
and
I wanted to see it, and
Yeah.
there were several times where I
Yeah.
was gonna go see it, and it just didn't happen. And now I'm like,
Yeah, I'm pissed off at myself too. Jeez, I've always wanted to see a space movie. Well, we saw Interstellar.
we did.
That was
that was a good
separate.
movie.
Yeah,
That was a good movie.
yeah, that was.
Theoretical as hell.
I do like Interstellar. See, here's the thing.
was science. Shut up.
I loved Interstellar. I like
I got- you got
2001
nothing on me.
is
It's unquantifiable, like love.
Christopher Nolan cannot be defeated.
I use big words and it helps.
I love Christopher Nolan. I don't think he's made any.
What's going on?
Oh,
Yeah.
we got in general.
Huh? Hey,
Okay, yeah.
dude, put your phone away. You're in a podcast.
Oh, whoa,
We got a text message from the government.
Good. I didn't get one, did I?
No, I'm joking. Dom's looking around like, whoa, is he serious? Like, okay. Oh, there we go. That's out of the bag now. Okay, so to run quickly through the supporting actress, John, let's go through. So Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. I didn't see that one. Emma
Watson and Harry Potter.
Emma Stone in The Favorite. She was great, and so was Rachel Weisz. I think either of them winning would make me happy. I thought they were both great. But going back to it, I don't know how Toni Collette for Hereditary and Tilda Swinton for Suspiria didn't get nominated for lead actress or supporting actress.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, they're horror. They're both horror, so you can't nominate them.
Yep.
Toni Collette was awesome, and anybody who saw Hereditary, like, there's a scene where she's screaming, not to ruin much, but, like, it's so haunting.
You ruined the whole movie for me.
It's so haunting. Like,
Why are
it
you to
gets you.
spoil everything? God
And then
damn it.
Tilda Swinton played 3 fucking characters in Suspiria.
Who?
Tilda Swinton. She's fantastic. She's in a lot of Wes Anderson movies, but she was the White Witch in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Narnia. She
was the white bitch.
She was that white bitch.
That white bitch.
So I think horror always gets the short end of the staff, or however you say that saying.
Short end of the stick.
Short end of the stick.
Staff sounds cooler, though.
Yeah. Oh. So, yeah, for actresses, I thought both of them got robbed. I mean, Tilda Swinton should have gotten nominated for all 3 roles. She should have. Yeah, but no, she's always fantastic in her stuff. She does a great job. I think she was one of the voices in Isle of Dogs. If I hope I'm corrected. If somebody's listening, they'll correct me.
I'm gonna have to watch this movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Scarlett Johansson was the female dog from.
Yeah. Well, Tilda Swinton might have been one of the voices. She's in a lot of
Possibly.
stuff. She does good stuff. We could be looking it up on our computers we have in our pockets, but instead we use them for cat videos, and we don't prepare for things.
He can speak for himself.
I don't even watch cat videos. I'm allergic to them, man. Like, I don't even like cats.
You just looked up Black Panther, dude.
That's why I didn't like Black Panther. It's because I'm allergic to cats. That Black Panther movie, it was so bad. They were cats, and I'm allergic. That's the only reason? Yeah. Doesn't that sound like a bad reason? No, it's my reason, and my reason's always right because I'm important and better than everyone. Moving on, we have the Best Director category. Spike Lee got nominated for Black Klansman. I thought he did a great job. He got some good performances out of actors and actresses I'd never seen in a movie before. And he had a largely black cast in this movie, which that's a big accomplishment. And I know Spike Lee, he's really concerned about that issue. And I mean, he made Malcolm X and stuff, so he's you know, he's.
I mean, I don't know how it is now.
He's very passionate about the progress. Well,
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure
well,
there are some
I remember
roadblocks,
hearing him talking about how he felt like in modern day, like him and Jordan Peele, they talk about this often, and Get Out's kind of about it is the exploitation of black people rather than the equality of things. Like, you know how you'll hear somebody go like, black people are cool, and I like rap music and basketball, and it's like,
they're just playing.
You're
on
appropriating culture, and you're saying it's cool because it's the only way you can accept it. That's kind of sad, you know. Like, and Spike Lee and Jordan Peele are like, that's still bad. You realize, like, you're just saying
still
you're taking our culture from us.
Yeah, they're still putting them in a group.
Yeah,
like,
and we're still like, oh, you guys are cool.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, yo, that's incredibly.
It's like, you know, we're all in it together, guys.
Yeah, it's like we're all people, man. And so Spike Lee, that's a great nomination for him. Pavlovsky, Cold War. I really want to see Cold War because it looked pretty cool for me, and I like Eastern European cinema stuff. I like a lot of the weird stuff that comes out of there. Like Andrei Tarkovsky is my favorite director of all time. Stalker's such an incredible movie. I think that's one of the reasons why I loved Annihilation so much, because Annihilation's a lot like Stalker with the zone and going in and all these things about your sense of self and stuff.
Do you think that kind of inspired it a little bit?
Annihilation's based off the novel, and apparently the guy who wrote the book series had like tripped on drugs while watching Stalker or something.
Really? Wow.
Which would explain a lot. He went on
Yeah.
like a vision quest through this, and he came out with his own story, and it's just there's some weird stuff surrounding that. But no, I mean, I do like a lot of like that Eastern European stuff.
I think that's actually the ending. I mean, do we want to?
We're not spoiling Annihilation
Okay,
on this because we got to talk
Not
about
this is
that
not
then.
a spoiler
Okay.
cast right now.
Yeah, I haven't watched the 4K for it yet, so I'm gonna do a 4K review for Annihilation.
That'd be cool.
Spoiler alert! It's
Spoiler alert!
double
Natalie,
quality.
spoiler alert! Natalie Portman looks better in 4K.
That would be an amazing movie to watch in 4K.
oh yeah.
Oh my god.
The one thing I just want to get out of the way here is the 3 directors who I understand Best Director. I only think they can nominate 5. I think it's 5 to 7. So I do think there was some screwage in here. But Alex Garland did a great job with Annihilation. I mean,
Did he get nominated?
nope.
No. Why?
Because they don't appreciate
Horror
genre cinema. The sci-fi
What kind of
and
bullshit
horror
is
always
that?
get the the
Genre.
shit. Yeah, they call anything that's not drama is a genre film. So like,
But it is drama, right?
I mean, it pretty much is, but it's sci-fi. So they're like, oh, it's a. They look at it as a lesser film.
My way of seeing it is
Some people
it
don't
all,
like sci-fi.
It all, in a way, is drama.
Everything's
Everything,
drama,
but
it's just
to
something
some
focus on other elements.
I mean, it's they're what people think of as drama is things that actually focus more on characters or different or characters or people being in opposition with each other. But this film, it's more of people in the opposition of themselves. It's about understanding. It's about science. It's about discovery and self-discovery.
Yeah,
and,
self-discovery.
and exploring the universe and the obstacles of not knowing the
Yeah,
answers and learning the answers and going on experiences like that. I mean, I think there's still through lines of drama in that.
Oh yeah,
It just takes a different form, and it's not the form that
the Academy would vote
yeah
for.
they identify.
It's
you know,
too
they
ambiguous. Academy they love historical stuff because historical stuff there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. They love that kind of typical storytelling arc kind of thing. They don't like movies that are not. They don't like things that are too different. Roma was kind of different, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of shocked to see that got a Best Picture nomination after watching that. I thought it was really, really good, Roma. But there's a lot of scenes in Roma.
So you did see it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I watched it this morning. There's a lot of scenes in Roma that are just they feel like real life, but it's long. They'll just be at a cafe having food, and then they get up and leave. There's not really anything going on in the scene. That's the scene.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's some stuff like that, and I'm like,
Doesn't really move it along.
well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm shocked the Academy nominated it because it's not a movie that's gonna
Wait,
have
so you're
that.
saying that there's scenes that don't really move the story along?
Yeah,
Like what kind? Can you give me examples without spoiling it?
like
you
the
just
one I
said.
just said.
Sorry.
You
Blanking.
sat there and ate a meal, and
They
that was the
just
scene.
sit and eat a meal and they talk about some stuff, and there is some stuff in there a little bit, but there's nothing too much. Everything comes through though.
Were
the
they
end.
arguing, or was there some kind of issue at stake?
No, there's just scenes where it's just people
Oh,
what they do in an evening.
yeah.
I will say this: it's character building. It's kind of like when
part of their
people tell me
routine.
that Tarantino movies don't go anywhere, but they're like, well, they're just people talking about stuff, and it's not important to the story. Yes, but it's important to their character, and it gets
Yeah.
you on board with them right off the bat. With Reservoir Dogs, with the diner scene to open it, it's so fantastic because you know who each and every one of those guys are going forward
Yeah.
right from there. Because it's a funny stuff. I love Tarantino. I think he's hilarious. I think he's fun, and I think his movies are just
He literally
so
You want him on the
created a
podcast.
universe for
What?
himself.
You want him on the podcast.
Hey Tarantino, if you want to be on a on a podcast, come here, man. I love everything Tarantino's done, but it's the thing where some people are like he just talks. They're just people talking, and it's it's not important to the story, but it's important to who
The people. The people are
And now you're on
important
board
to
with the
story.
journey,
Yeah.
and you were laughing along, and you like these guys now. Other people, they waste time with story arcs and stuff. Tarantino's like, let's just get to the good part. Inglourious Bastard, we want to see Hitler die. It's that kind of stuff where Tarantino kind of, I think he plays with the audience. He's like, I'm going to give you the characters up front. They're not really going to learn anything, but you're going to have a hell of a time on board with this. And he does play with you, though. Like, Hateful Eight is not a straightforward, it's a mystery. And he was inspired by The Thing with that movie.
Now, do you think it's a coincidence that the Ridiculous Six, the Magnificent Seven, and the Hateful Eight all came out at the same time?
Because what happens is when Tarantino works on a movie, he spends years. So I feel like other people heard about it and was like, let's capitalize.
Oh, yeah, that's probably...
Ridiculous Six.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a fun time watching that.
Yeah, I had a fun time watching it too, yeah.
I had a little too much to drink. And I was laughing.
Yeah.
It's not a good...
It's not great.
It's not good.
But I mean, it's still like a good comedy
It's
thing,
funny, yeah. Well, you just know a movie like that'll never get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah,
Wait, and it shouldn't. Let's not lie. Like I actually liked the Predator movie that came out. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I didn't give it a fantastic review, but I had a fun time watching it and laughing and everything. And I would choose to watch it over Last Jedi, which was a very well-made movie that I did not enjoy. And that's the thing. Being well-made and enjoying it are two different things. And I would say Roma was incredibly well-made, but I'm not sure, like, I loved it. And I don't know that I would buy the Blu-ray. But the fact that it's on Netflix, I might give it another watch. But I don't know that I'd pay to watch Roma again. It just didn't really strike the things with me that I was kind of hoping. It has some emotional stuff, but sometimes movies are just like that. It's just not for me, Roma wasn't my kind of movie. It wasn't as make you think. Like, Annihilation is a make you think movie.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a lot in yourself.
Was your issue, did it have anything to do with the fact that they were sitting around eating?
Well, no, it's just like that kind of scene doesn't do anything for me, and I'm kind of sitting there like...
And then I remember there was a day where you used to, like, diss on me about conflict and drama. And
well...
That's what it is. It's when you have something there.
Yeah, you have to have something.
And structure.
And for me, I mean...
That's why I define a structure as something that's there.
And
something going on.
And don't even get me wrong. I think, like, for the year, Roma's probably... It's in my top 10. It's for sure. There's so much fantastic stuff in it. I'm just saying, there's some stuff that seems like you could have cut it and nothing would change in the movie. So it really could have been a 2-hour movie instead of 2 hours and 15 minutes. I feel like you could easily cut 15 minutes out of Roma. Because there was nothing... The beautiful shot stuff, I'm all for. It's just some of the stuff that kind of is just like a typical kind of scene where nothing really happens. I didn't feel like it really did that Tarantino thing of building a character for me. And they happened like halfway through the movie. I thought the first half of Roma was like perfection, and then the last half, I thought there were some great moments, but some stuff where it was like, I really wish the movie was a little bit better, and I'd say it's the best movie of the year. Now, I could also watch it again, and then all of a sudden, yeah, so... Roma, I do think Alfonso Cuarón deserved a Best Director nomination. Yorgos Lanthimos, out of everybody who got nominated, I think should win because The Favorite was such an original movie, and it was really great. And then Adam McKay got nominated for Vice. I really do think, Alex Garland for Annihilation should have gotten nominated. Luca Guadagnino, he did a fantastic job with Suspiria, and he had also done Call Me By Your Name, which was a big-time movie that got nominated for Best Picture. So that's why, I mean, the Academy already was kind of on board with him, so I was kind of like, Suspiria could be this movie that gets horror back on the map, get a nomination out there, and no. And then Ari Aster, if you want to talk about building an atmosphere for something, Hereditary made me get up and move back 2 rows because it was that intense. I've never had that feeling ever at a movie, and that movie made me do that. That is amazing direction. If you can nail some kind of emotion in somebody to make them move their seat because they're that terrified, that is fantastic filmmaking. So he really should have gotten nominated.
I thought you were saying that you didn't like the movie.
Oh, no. I mean, like, it terrified me, like, I didn't know how to feel about it.
enjoy. Yeah, you didn't enjoy the experience.
Well, that terrified nature, the first viewing I had of the movie, it got me so bad. I was like, oh my God. And then on the second viewing, it's interesting because you're going back through and you're looking for stuff because I don't want to spoil anything, but the movie is still good on a second and third and fourth viewing because there's a lot of little things here and there. It's like, oh, this is an amazing movie, you know? And it gets more and more enjoyable because it's not as shocking and you're just kind of witnessing greatness and stuff. So, I think best director category, there's a lot of great stuff. Animated feature, the nominees were Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
And Incredibles too. It's been 14 years since the
They
first
spent
one came out.
14 years.
Do you think they spent 14 years though?
No,
Like-
no. Apparently, the director said he needed to have an idea that was good enough to come back, and I feel like they must have offered him a lot of money because I loved Incredibles 2, but I'm gonna be blatantly honest. Like what happens in Incredibles 2 that's necessarily like noteworthy? Like this was the thing that got him to come back. It's like it just takes place right after the other one, has the same tone, feel, and the characters learn exactly the same lessons they learned in the first one. It's like,
At the same time, everybody loved it though.
oh
Like,
yeah, it was a crowd-pleasing movie.
Yeah.
I loved it. I
mean-
initially put it in my top 10, but now that I'm thinking more about certain things, I'm gonna redo a thing. I'm gonna do a top 25.
Yeah.
Incredibles 2 will make top 25, but great. I thought it was a really, really, really good movie. But in terms of like, when I started thinking about it more
It was
and more,
nostalgic.
I'm like, it was nostalgic,
You-
but it wasn't necessary.
we
It's
grew
like,
up
what,
on
what the
the
hell was
first
in
one.
this?
Yeah.
We grew up.
Oh yeah,
They were
it
the
was
Happy
so cool
Meals
to
and
see it.
everything.
Oh yeah, I had a
And-
Mr. Incredible's like
Dude, yeah.
Burger King toy or something. Or
I remember
McDonald's or
I had
whatever
the
it was.
Mr. Incredible
the
one and the
video
Mrs.
game.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for like the Wii or something.
PlayStation 2.
PS2.
Yeah.
So
Wait, wasn't
Incredibles
it?
2 was
Wait, wasn't it you that like I had the Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, and then you like
No, it was that was
My
the
little-
Christmas guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was the Bumble
You perv.
and Mrs. Claus, and I smacked them together. It was funny. I was a 12-year-old.
was funny.
I was a 12-year-old. What do you expect?
I have the live action The Grinch stuff from McDonald's. Yeah.
No.
Like Jim Carrey and stuff like that. It's fucking cool.
That's
It's interesting.
awesome.
But Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson, he's
That was great.
amazing.
I love.
Yeah, that was a really good
I
movie.
love when Wes
everything
Anderson does
Wes
stuff.
Anderson. Yeah, everything
I
Wes
have all his
Anderson
movies
does.
right there. Like Rushmore.
Well, you have like
Life
an entire
Aquatic,
shelf
that's-
for his stuff. Is that
Well,
shelf
no, it's in the Criterion there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's after Dress to Kill.
The
and everything.
Budapest
Grand
Hotel.
Budapest Hotel is one of
Yeah.
my favorite movies.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I saw
Oh,
that
great.
at the Colonial. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
man,
I wish I'd have seen that in theaters. That
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
that was
thought it
great.
that's
so
perfect to see in
Yeah.
the Colonial though, because it's kind of like the same
Old
tone.
Town.
Yeah.
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 I love the way Wes Anderson's movies look. I would love it if Isle of Dogs won. I have a feeling
Yeah,
they're not going to give it to it because
Why
they're
not?
like, see, it was so inventive, and I feel like the Academy does not care about inventiveness and being original. They're like, which one do
you
the
go
people
again.
want? Give them the Disney one. It's got to be Ralph Breaks the Internet. Disney. Disney.
No, wouldn't they do it to Incredibles 2?
That was Pixar, which is like Disney, except actually good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so wouldn't they give it to
No, I haven't really heard of
I haven't heard about Mirai.
Mirai or the
What if they
Ralph
give it
Breaks
to
the Internet,
Mariah?
but I
It's
heard
gonna, it's gonna be Mariah.
It's gonna be
because
Mariah 'cause
We
we-
haven't
we
seen
talked
it.
about all the
we
other-
know
Yeah,
nothing about it.
I heard a lot about
Into the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse was great.
Yeah, I heard it was a great
It was
movie.
really great.
I really want to see that.
But you
Yeah.
saw it, Alex?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you think?
I thought it's the best thing Marvel's done in years.
That's awesome. That's
I think it's the
great.
best thing Marvel. Well, now
Wait, what's
technically
this-
it's Sony.
What's
so
it
that's
about? It's about a bunch of
Spider-
Spider-Man. Like,
It's a bunch
I
of
have no-
Spider-Man come into the same universe, and they've got to go fight the Kingpin. And some
Why
other
are they
bad
in the
guys.
same universe?
I don't. It'd
It's
be a
yeah, it's
spoiler.
part of the
Oh, okay.
storyline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'd say it's the second best animated thing of the year. I'd put it right behind Isle of Dogs. I'd put it. Thinking about it, I'd put it. It should go above Incredibles 2. And Isle of Dogs is above Spider-Man. I think just because Isle of Dogs, when Wes Anderson does something, he's not just like. If he were to tell you, I'm waiting for the perfect script, he's actually waiting for it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the guy for Incredibles 2, he's like, I had to wait for the right thing to fall off my door. It's like, this was the right thing.
Well, this is the
Some guy that
didn't
like,
he do
the right
one of the
amount of
Mission
money.
Impossible?
Yeah.
movies?
Yeah.
He got Mission Impossible.
yeah,
back
he
on
had
the
wrote
map.
Mission Impossible. He's a good writer. Brad Bird,
Brad Bird,
does good
shit.
stuff.
Brad Bird.
Brad Bird. Speaking of Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible Fallout was really good. The
Oh, yeah.
Fallout that came out
I
this
did see
year,
that.
a lot of the special effects stuff was all practical. Tom Cruise actually flies the helicopter in the movie.
Really?
Like, there's a scene where these helicopters are flying through and getting dangerously close.
Well, Bill Burr can fly a helicopter.
Bill Burr can fly. Guys,
So
hey,
Bill
hey,
Burr wouldn't be flying it
what a
around
fag!
crazy like that, though.
Hey, he can't fly a helicopter. What a fact! Bill Burr, man. Oh,
Check him out.
one
on the
thing
podcast.
I did write down in my notes here. I know this is purely from a biased standpoint, but Dragon Ball Super Brawly
Oh,
should have
God.
gotten nominated for Best Animated Feature because you have Brawly and Goku and Vegeta
I wonder
fighting
why.
Super Saiyan God.
I
Super
think that should have been an animated
Kevin.
short.
Kevin, I wonder why.
I have everything Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball,
Just looking at a
Dragon Ball
big
Super.
stack of
I
Dragon Ball Z.
own Dragon Ball GT.
You know what?
I'm a
Alex,
fan.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that's gonna really irk you. I never once watched Dragon Ball Z.
It's 'cause he's
I don't know
sucking-
why. I don't know why. If I was never let to watch
It's
it.
because he's busy sucking Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Tom's talking them Dragon Ball. What a fan! We're not welcome on the LGBT podcast anymore. No, I'm quoting Bill Burr. It's okay. There's quotes on it.
Oh,
this is
jeez.
somebody else.
Dude, you don't have to worry. The only thing to worry about is me making a Jesus rape joke.
Yeah, you're talking about raping Jesus. I think that's not
I didn't
gonna-
even think. I didn't put two together.
He's
I was
doomed us
like,
all.
You're like, does Jesus get raped? Not a good movie if Jesus does.
I just threw out a rape scene, but then I was like, oh wait, we're talking about Jesus.
See, you're thinking about.
So I can now never run for politics.
See, now you're
because
thinking
this is in the like the audio or the what is it the
You're thinking about A Clockwork Orange. In A Clockwork Orange, there's a scene where Malcolm McDowell whips Jesus, and he's like laughing about it because he's kind of a sadistic guy in his head, and he is a sadistic guy, and he even kind of admits it, and that's one of like the things in the movie anyway. But there's also in the book, the girls he picks up at the record shop are 10-year-old girls, and he takes them back and rapes them. So you're taking the Jesus whipping, the girl rape from the book, mixing them together and coming up with Jesus rape. Tom, we understand your psychology now.
He's a crazy person.
what just
What just happened?
And
I told
moving on.
original storytelling. Come on, you only listen to the podcast for the storytelling. Animated shorts, we kind of watched through all the trailers of them. I actually saw the Bow one was I'm pretty sure that's the one that played before Incredibles 2. It was the Pixar short. I like the Pixar shorts. I own the collections of them. I think they do a
That's
cute.
cool.
They do
That's
a cute
cool.
little job with all of them. They're nice.
I used to like them watching all like Bugs Life and shit.
Yeah,
Like that. Yeah.
Jerry's Game, the chest. That's still one
Yeah,
of the best
yeah.
shorts ever. And of course it was for A Bug's Life. Wouldn't it be awesome had Jerry's Game been like for like Cars 2?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Nobody would ever want to watch that short again.
Yeah.
Because Cars 2 was. Larry the Cable Guy was the main character in Cars 2, and people forget
What?
that happened. Yeah. And it was because in 2011 he was trending, and then all of a sudden Cars 3 comes out. And I don't even know if he. I don't
Cars
think
3
he was
comes
in it.
out, and Owen Wilson's just like, wow.
Cars 3 is literally The Last Jedi. It's the same movie. I'm
Yeah.
not even joking. If you watch Cars 3, that's why I'm so glad Pixar just pandered to me and gave me Incredibles 2, because they were like, hey, you know that horrible Star Wars movie that came out this year? Yeah, we also did that with our Cars movie. They're like, that'll go over well. Meanwhile, everybody was like, the woman car has to come in to save the day because the old man is washed up and should just retire. It's like, this. New things are better than old things because old things are always old and bad because rust and stuff. Quiet down, Wolfgang. Get back in your cage. Be
is he
funny.
gonna listen to this?
Who knows? The world may never know. Just like the center of a Tootsie Pop. Do you know how many licks it takes to get to the center, Tom?
75.
Kevin knows. The world now knows.
It depends on how much saliva you have.
Some pretty hard licks.
Hypersalivating, yeah.
Yummy.
Depends on if you suck a lot of cack.
You just lost. You just lost 50% of your
We
viewership
just
right
lost
there.
all viewers. So
At this point, we're just running blind.
So yeah, we watched through the animated shorts. Honestly, all of them looked pretty good. I think all of the animated shorts were good this year, so that's great. For adapted screenplay,
Did you watch them all?
Yes, we watched them. Right?
Yeah, we
here.
just.
I thought we just watched the trailers.
Yeah, we did. That counts as all of them.
Counts because
Okay.
it's a short film, so you only need to watch the trailer. That's how it works, Tom. Because we're shortening the short,
All right.
the Big Short. We are the Big Short. Vice will win Best Picture now because
Oh,
we predicted it.
jeez.
Because he did Best Picture.
The Ballad of Buster
But,
Scruggs.
So best
The
adapted
Blad
screen-
of Buster.
The Blad.
hashtag.
Adapted
YOLO.
screenplay.
I don't
So
know
Ballad of
how
Buster
I feel
Scruggs-
about.
Ballad of Buster
them
Scruggs
not
I
doing
still
it.
want to see.
I still want
I don't know how I feel about the digital.
They shot it in digital though, and it's like.
Did you see it? Did you look at the?
I saw the quality, and it does look like.
It's just. I don't know. I'm used to like having.
Oh,
I'm used to Roger Deakins.
Mr. Rogers.
Roger Deakins.
Okay, you said Mr. Roger.
I'm used to Mr. Rogers shooting their movies.
Yeah, come on, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Won't You Be My Neighbor didn't get nominated for best documentary, and that's
Wait,
a
I wonder.
damn shame.
Does anybody know why they didn't have Roger Deakins on the Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
He was busy. He was
I-
busy with Blade Runner
don't know, I didn't see
2049,
Oh, okay, whatever.
which he won for because it's a masterpiece.
Okay. Doesn't
That-
he like do multiple films at once?
Moving on, so we
And then we have the
So,
Black
Ballad
I
Klansman?
Klansman.
don't know this, Tom. This is why you have a cell phone in front of
Fine,
you.
I'll
You
figure
can
it
look
out.
it up. I'm not your Google. Black Klansman was a great movie. It was a great story. I thought Black Klansman was great. I really enjoyed it. And the main character was played by Denzel Washington's
Oh.
son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was really good himself.
Was that his like debut thing, or did he do other
This
things?
is the first big thing I've recognized him from.
That's cool.
I'd have to see. He's been in stuff with Denzel
Yeah.
before, but he's kind of like branching out and doing his own stuff now, so that's nice.
I believe that.
Denzel did Equalizer 2. That was 2018.
I still have to see that. I saw
It
the
was pretty
first
good.
one. It was
They're good. I don't know that's going to be in my top 25 of 2018.
Yeah.
It might be like 25th or 24th. It was pretty good for what it is. I
Yeah.
like them. They got that kind of grindhousey old time, like at least in the bare bones of the feel of it. It doesn't look like one, which Black Klansman kind of looks like a 70s movie, which I love. Suspiria definitely looks like a 70s movie, which I love. 70s aesthetic in film. It's just so cool. Like the weird wipes and not wipes. My God, I don't want to do a George Lucas.
Butt
I
wipes.
mean, they have butt wipes. Like wide shots and like slow zooms and some weird kind of stuff. Suspiria just looked fantastic. I thought Suspiria should have been nominated for multiple awards. It was fantastic. It's a weird fucking movie, and that's why it didn't get nominated. Because some people are like, this is offensive because it's grotesque and violent and awful because horror movies are scary and they offend me. I'm the Academy. I am the
I'm
Academy.
the personalization of the Academy.
Yeah, I am the Academy. What if somebody was like, I am Academy? I am Academy.
And then we got Can You Forgive Me for Not Knowing What This Movie Is?
Yeah. If Beale Street to Talk, and then A Star's Born, which was really good. So, that's cool. Bradley Cooper helped work on that, so that's cool. He did a lot on that movie. And he didn't get nominated for Best Director either. He was another guy who got screwed.
It's a crime.
It's a crime against Tom. So, best original
I feel
screenplay.
personally attacked.
Thank you, Tom. For best original screenplay,
We got
I think
the favorite.
I think the favorite should win for this. I thought it was fantastic. But we also have First Reformed, which I heard was really good. Green Book, which I heard was really good. Roma, which was pretty good. I don't know what I would say about the screenplay because, as I said, I felt like there were some scenes where like nothing happened in them. So
I got
could've
an
been
idea.
cut.
I think what happened was when they sat down at the dinner table or breakfast table to
Really likes
talk
this
about what to
scene.
write.
He didn't see the movie though.
I know.
When they sat down at the breakfast table to talk about what to write, they ended up just writing what they talked about at the breakfast table.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Adam McKay.
Is that really original though? Because it is somebody's life.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. It's like, it's original because they wrote it about that stuff.
That's true. Yeah, no one ever thought about writing about Dick Cheney shooting some guy in the face.
Wait, don't spoil it.
Oh,
You just ruined it. Did you ruin Bohemian Rhapsody for me?
wait. Freddie Mercury died.
Oh, no.
Oh shit. Sorry.
I
guys.
can't wait for the Beatles movie to come out. I wonder how John Lennon does after 1980 because
with that
'cause
shiny that. They're
they're
gonna
gonna make a Beatles movie now.
Did you know
You know
that-
why? Because they made the Queen movie and it did so well and people are loving it. They've already done a Doors movie. They're gonna do a Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and Pink Floyd. They all have to get movies now.
Was Ron
If
Howard's
they do
movie?
Pink Floyd though,
Wait.
it's got to be somebody like Gaspar Noé or like I would love if Nicholas Winding Refn, the guy who did Drive, he would do a crazy Pink Floyd movie.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'd pay him every dollar I have whenever I talk to him to make that. That might be a $20 Arby's gift card, but I'm I'm gonna get him on board.
Yeah, it'll help feed the crew.
Yeah. I'll buy sliders for everybody. Everybody gets
No,
one
you'll
slider.
just take all the sliders from my house,
Yeah.
show up unannounced.
Then we got cinematography.
Best cinematography, Cold War. I really want to see that movie. So I really have no opinion of it right now.
Now,
The
do you know if
favorite-
that's like based on the real Cold War, or is it like a new Cold War?
I think it takes place during the Cold War.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
The favorite, there's stuff where they use fisheye lenses in this movie, and it's incredible. It's some really cool stuff. It makes you feel all kinds of different things for how it's done. The technical aspects of this,
Yeah. What?
really just it adds to like the flavor of that movie. And the favorite, it was just such an awesome time watching it. My only problem was my theater was full of like the 70+ crowd, and all of a sudden like a lesbian sex scene starts on, and a lady in the back is like, "Oh my!" and I'm sitting there, and the guy at the end of my row is just laughing his ass off at everything. Not like even the funny stuff. Like he's laughing. Like there's a scene where they go
Because
through.
he remembers what it was like.
There's a scene where like Emma Stone comes in and she's rubbing the floor, she's cleaning it, but the stuff she was cleaning it with is like burning. Because they meant to tell her to put a glove on before doing it, so her hand like burns and stuff. And she's like, because her hand's on burning, and the guy's just like, ha 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 ha.
You know you're supposed to wear gloves when you do that?
He's like, I did that once. What a dumb fuck. So I mean, the movie was just, it was really funny. And I really like what Yorgos Lanthimos is doing. And yeah, Robbie Ryan did a great job on that. Never Look Away. I don't know what that movie is, so it's
Caleb Deschanel.
Caleb Deschanel.
Deschanel.
Yeah, Zoe Deschanel just did this. Roma looked really good. There's some shots in Roma where like that's an award-winning shot right there. But then there were other ones that just felt like they were good. But the movie, when it does like a great shot, it lingers on it, and I love it. But it was just some of those scenes where it was doing like a kind of average shot, and it just kind of moves on. It's like, all right.
Wait, which one?
For Roma,
Yeah.
Alfonso Cuarón actually did the cinematography for it, and he directed it. And did
So,
that.
so you're saying the cinematography is kind of like the rest of the movie? Like there's
Like,
scenes
there's some
that are
amazing-
great,
like,
and then there are
Roma is
scenes
one of
where
those
they're
movies-
just sitting
yeah.
there eating a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roma has some amazing stuff in it. I think the movie overall is fantastic. It's a top 10 movie of the year. I had people saying it was the best movie of the year, and there was just nothing in the movie for me to latch on
Was
to.
it kind of like Moonlight, and that people were like, it's the best movie of the year?
It might
But you-
win in that
but you're-
Moonlight
but you-
regard,
you're
where like,
kind of like,
you know it's
you
great,
know it's yeah, you know
and
like
you're up for the journey, but like for art house stuff, there's much better out there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, and that's the thing, like, when I had people like, Moonlight was so original, I'm like, put on Persona by Ingmar Bergman and come out the same person. Like, Ingmar Bergman, Seventh Seal was fucking awesome. Everything Ingmar Bergman, I don't want to ruin anything. I'm going to save that for later.
Yeah, don't spoil that movie.
No, yeah, I'm not going to ruin Seventh Seal. It came out 62 years ago. Don't want to ruin it.
Persona.
Oh, and I don't want to ruin Persona. That came out 50-some years ago.
I forget how it ends.
We're not going to ruin it. We're not going to ruin it because
it's one of those weird movies. It's hard to explain.
It's
so
I love his stuff, and I love Tarkovsky.
I love when you can't explain it, what it's about.
Kubrick. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. It's just, to me, like, Moonlight does not compare to anything Stanley Kubrick ever did. And if you take Stanley Kubrick, Ingmar Bergman, and Andrei Tarkovsky, put them together, you know how many Oscars they won collectively? One. And it was for special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey. The three greatest filmmakers of all time, in my opinion, have one total Oscar. Mm-hmm. And, well, Andrei Tarkovsky never was going to get a nomination because they were never going to say the Soviet Union was doing stuff better than America. They could never do that. They would nominate Rambo First Blood Part 3 with Rambo shooting, like, rockets off an RPG, blowing up helicopters and tanks, and just an overall...
Helping the Taliban.
Yeah, helping the Taliban. Yeah, they don't talk about that one.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Rambo 3, he helps, like, Saddam Hussein's crew fight in Afghanistan against the Russians.
Yeah.
This is before that.
The U.S.
This is before the U.S. had problems, but the U.S. gave arms and tanks and stuff to the Afghanis, who then in turn attacked us. Anyway,
is this the one where he's got the bow?
Like bunch of stuff battle with.
Or is that?
Yeah, well, he used the bow in the second, third, and fourth one. But we're talking about Rambo. We're talking about Oscars. This is hilarious.
We'll have to do a Rambo section.
Ingmar Bergman never got nominated for an Oscar, and I'm like, really? Never? I'm like, you look through his filmography.
Sylvester Stallone never got an Oscar for Rambo?
Hey, Rambo First Blood Part 1 is actually a really good movie.
The second one's good, too.
The second one's good. It's good, and then three's...
They dropped off there, yeah.
3, you're gonna, you got a bottle of Jack, you got the boys over, and you got some Domino's pizza.
Yeah, and you're like, America!
America! You realize, like, we're helping the Afghanis in this one. America! It's like... Yeah, we try to forget that one. So
get back on track here.
Yeah, I really do think The Favorite should win Best Cinematography because, I mean, in all honesty, I'd say I thought it was really original.
With the smell of it. The Thin Mints.
The people who aren't here don't know what we're talking about. So, yes.
I just said the Thin Mints. With the Thin Mints on the table, and I just keep, like, smelling.
Can you smell it, audience?
And after Roma, A Star Is Born also.
Star Is Born, that was really good too. I just don't.
When's that about?
What?
When is that about? Okay, and then and then we have Best Documentary.
Yeah, Best Documentary.
Feature.
I can't believe that Won't You Be My Neighbor is not on here because Mr. Rogers.
I'm actually amazed by that.
Mr. Rogers was an American treasure, and that movie is fantastic. It's the only documentary I watched last year, and then I haven't seen any of these.
Wait, let me see that.
Yeah, Free Solo, Hale County This Morning, Minding the Gap, Fathers and Sons, and RBG. That's about what?
Red, Green, and Blue.
No, it's, she was a Supreme Court justice. She was the first female, I believe. I'm not 100% sure.
Wait, the first female?
In the Supreme Court, yeah.
Okay.
What? Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Yeah. Ruth Gainer.
That's why they called her RBG.
Yeah. No, she was an RPG. She was like... she was a missile RPG! She comes out to her walkout. What if... Yo, if C-SPAN had, like, you know how the wrestlers, when they come in, they play their song and stuff? If C-SPAN did that for the politicians, people would actually watch it, and then they would look across, you motherfucker, you fucked my wife! And then they, like, get into a fight,
There's
grapple
on YouTube, you can find City Hall meetings like that. I showed you one, remember? Like, yeah, you slept with this person. Of course you're gonna go with that.
Oh
my god.
Next up is Best Documentary Short Subject.
I didn't see any of these either.
I heard when it comes to doing like a short documentary, you can't really you can't do as much as you can with a feature documentary.
They lived. That's it.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. You can't really when you're trying to delve into like,
Yeah,
like
you
into
got
a real
15
person.
minutes to talk
Yeah,
about
it's really
something.
hard, and,
So-
and it hurts not as effective.
We'll give these movies credit though, so we're gonna at least name them.
I mean, if they did it well, I mean, yeah.
Black Sheep, Endgame, Lifeboat, which is also an Alfred Hitchcock movie, which is really good.
Okay.
A Night at the Garden, period, end of sentence.
Is that the last one?
Yeah.
Is that what? No, I got it. That's not even a real film. The person who was supposed to put the list together,
Me.
they just put that in there.
So I just felt like fucking with you guys.
Next up
Now we
is
got
best live action short film.
We have Detainment, Foo, Marguerite, Mother, and Skin. So those sound interesting. We didn't see those either. Best foreign language film. Out of all of these, I really want to see Cold War and Shoplifters. I heard really good things about both of them. Never
Roma.
Look Away. Germany usually does a good job with their films. I mean, I'll be honest, I like a lot of German stuff. Rainer Werner Fassbender is one of my favorite. Tom
watched-
didn't like his movie.
No,
but
it was just
Let's-
I watched.
Let's be real. They've done a lot
was the
in
movie?
history.
Ali Fury Eats the Soul.
Yeah.
I mean, you had me going in with higher expectations. Let's be honest. I mean, it was different. It was kind of like. It was just so bizarre, the kind of dialogue and
Fassbender.
but it wasn't in a very entertaining way for me.
Yeah, see,
Like
I like weird shit.
Ingmar Bergman.
This
yeah.
movie
like,
might
I
be-
mean,
Well, well,
they're
you
great.
can't just
No,
like, well, you know,
Tarkovsky-
Adam Sandler's
Yeah.
his dialogue just wasn't as good as Andrei Tarkovsky. It's like, no fucking shit.
Well, now you're relating Adam Sandler to Rainer Werner Fassbender. Really?
Hey,
Oh,
Anger
Tom.
Management
That's
was
good.
a great
you know,
Great
Ali
movie.
Fear Eats the Soul has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's one of the few movies that does, and Tom's like, you know what? I'd give it a bad review.
I don't give it a bad
The
review.
Godfather sucked.
He's the one guy who doesn't like The Godfather, Shawshank.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just
No, we're messing
it wasn't
with you.
like. I mean, it was one of the. Here's the thing. It was one of the last movies I was watching on Filmstruck before it was going down. So that was like. So I was like, oh, I felt like I could have watched something better. That's. I mean, it was great. I mean, but it was like. I felt like it was something that has been done
Did you see
before.
Stalker before it went away?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
I think that's on YouTube too.
It is, but it's in shitty quality.
Yeah, it is.
I have Stalker.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have a lot of
oh
Tarkovsky.
shit! I forgot to bring my freaking flash drive. Damn. Oh, I have an SD card. I think.
Yeah, we'll do.
Do you have something I could just take them? Or no? Can we just upload that stuff to
We can
Drive,
figure-
Google
we can
Drive?
figure-
Next is film editing.
Film editing. So we got Black Klansman. I thought it does a good job.
I need to see that stuff.
Here's the thing about film editing. A lot of times,
Tell me about film editing.
Okay, a lot of good film editing is the stuff you don't notice. If you don't notice there's editing going on, that could be good. Or there's Jean-Luc Godard who wants you to know there's editing going on.
What about the classic cut in cinema history in the 2001 where it cuts from the bone being thrown up in the air to the space shuttle? You're telling me
Perfection.
nobody noticed that?
Oh, people, you make note of that, and that's why I'm saying certain movies like Black Klansman is the kind of movie that I'd say has great editing, but you don't know there's
Jean-Luc
great
Godard.
editing.
When I watched Breathless, the editing is so noticeable.
Oh,
but
it's jarring,
beautiful.
but it's great in how it does it. Yeah.
I really fell in love with it.
Oh.
I loved that.
I love the French New Wave stuff.
I need to watch. I realized that was one of the last films again that I watched on Filmstruck before it went down, and I was like,
I suggest
why did
that
I
one
not
too.
watch? Why did I not watch more Jean-Luc Godard films? Oh my god!
That was, let the record state that I also told him to see that one with the Ali. So I
Yeah,
didn't
I'll
get.
give you
It's
that.
not like I told
no,
you to
no,
watch
no,
like the worst
no, Alex,
movies on Filmstruck.
you're the one who got me into Tarkovsky. Like I'm not dissing on you.
You chose to watch what 2001, the sequel to
2010.
2010, the year we met.
I started
Convict.
watching that.
You chose to watch that on films. Of everything on Filmstruck, that's probably like one of the
That was
worst
before I
movies
knew
ever
it was
made.
going down.
See, here's the thing.
I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. It's not like
2010
Filmstruck's going down. I mean,
Here's the thing. I've attempted to watch 2010.
No.
But
I
it's
watch-
so jarring because you have such a masterpiece, and then you watch 2010. It's just the most generic 80s.
But here's
It's a
the thing.
sequel.
Hear me
That's
out.
like
Hear me
how
out.
sequels
The
go.
reason,
A
the
lot of
reason
the
I
time.
watched that was
Just
because
wasn't-
I was in the mood for a Peter Hyman film. I loved his film Outlander.
Or you just like him
It's-
for the Hyman.
I loved his film. With the buddy cop film he did, with
oh no, he's I like
forget
his
who.
stuff.
I forget what it was called, but it was
Who's in
like
it?
I forget who. I'm gonna look it up. But it
Hyman.
was about these two cops who
Isn't that a
just
woman's?
That's
We're-
the
we're not
cherry.
wait.
The
They're
cherry.
two cops from Detroit almost get killed.
Yep.
And on a crime bus going bad, and they get sent to Florida and fall in love with it there. Like they get sent on leave to Florida, and then they come back and they're like, we found a bar. We're gonna be safe for the next month, and we're gonna retire and then go down and start a bar, and they have a dream, and then they're so that's and they're trying to and they have to tie up loose ends for the crime thing that went bad. So what's up?
No, keep talking.
Oh, so but yeah, so and it's so intense because it's like you want them to succeed and to live, and yeah, I just really like his films. But I watched 2010 and I was like, oh my, yeah, I don't know, I can't finish this. It just felt like predictable.
Yeah, it was kind
Fix
of
the
a
problem.
by the books kind of thing.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't want to ruin 2001. I felt like it was ruining.
yeah.
It was undoing the
does
mystery.
that need it?
It
Did it
was
need a
undoing the
sequel?
mystery of 2001.
Well, because here's the other thing about
Something
2001.
made by like this genius of cinema.
Well-
and now it felt like he was rewriting it. It was like Ryan Johnson
yeah, but
came and directed
let's
it.
ruin Star Wars now.
Yeah, it felt like the Ryan Johnson.
Well, and that's the thing about 2010. Like, how could you sit? Who sat there and was like 2001 needed a sequel? It's like no. The 2001 leaves on this whole thing about that man has finally evolved and transcended its being and all kinds of crazy ideas there. I mean, how are you gonna top that? Oh, let's just give it an 80s sci-fi treatment and give it to Ridley Scott. He did fucking Blade Runner. Maybe he would have actually done a good job.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
He would have been good. But no.
Wait, who was like the owner of like the 2001 or the 2000 franchise? Or whatever?
I don't think that anybody knew about. Nobody did franchises in the 60s.
Or
there wasn't a
or
thing
or
till
like
the
like
80s.
who
It was like sequels.
like so you're saying that somebody who had like a producer on what is it 2001 brought it to Peter Hyman for 2010. What's up? You're looking at me like the wide eye.
So
Said something.
Kevin says McDonald's made a movie in the 80s.
No
It's
way.
a ripoff of E.T. It's called Mac and Me. I'm not joking.
Mac and me.
I
I'm looking
think
this up right
I
now.
think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's an E.T.
Oh, there's a
Oh,
result.
there's a scene where like this wheelchair.
Jeez! Oh my
Yes.
God! You're not kidding me.
Yes, and this like
No.
wheelchair kid. He's like,
Look at this thing.
yeah. There's an MST3K episode about it, and if Mystery Science Theater 3000 does your movie, you know it's shit.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where like
What?
a kid is in a wheelchair. He's going down and he's about to
3.4
fall
on
in.
out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah, and like the alien like hovers him or whatever. It's so awful.
That's terrible.
It's so bad.
So that's the
So-
homework for the viewers. Look
Yeah, yeah,
up
look-
Mac
watch
and Me.
Mac and Me.
You will not be disappointed.
Little 80s
You will
for
be
ya.
disappointed.
You
but,
will
like,
be disappointed,
but in a way that you like.
So we got through film. So just to finish through the film editing, we also have Bohemian Rhapsody was on there. Haven't seen it. Green Book, didn't see it.
When I first read that, I thought it was Green Black.
Green Book. Like two colors. And The Favorite was fantastic. It did a lot of really cool stuff. There's a scene like the very final scene.
Yeah.
Some people I could see them
Don't spoil
going.
it, don't spoil it.
It's too long, but it's really cool. But you have to like be open to it. It's very weird, but it's one of the most original endings I've seen in a movie. Because
Yeah.
the more you think about it, I could see somebody's just like, well, it's just a bunch of, and I don't want to ruin it, but there's just a bunch of rabbits and stuff. Meanwhile, the more you start thinking about what the rabbits mean, and you think about what the characters are doing and what that means, and you look at the expressions on people's faces, then everything starts to sink in, and you're like, Oh shit! Wow, that's gonna stick with me.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm not ruining.
You're a little bit. I feel like you're ruining a little
Gotta
bit.
tend the rabbits. Bam! Right?
Well, no.
Yeah.
Rabbits though have like a really interesting
Of
symbolism.
mice and men. Yeah.
There's a video I saw by one of those like film essayists on YouTube, like about rabbits in films and the meaning. Like if you think about I forget what the meaning is, but I know that there was they tied it to what was the movie Donnie Darko.
Oh, I love Donnie Darko. Oh my god, it's one of my all-time favorites.
What is the meaning of? I'm gonna look that up.
What is the meaning of rabid?
Meaning of rabbits in film.
It's like someone that writes a book and then every English teacher's just like, so overanalyze this.
See,
In
there
dreams.
is some great stuff out there that you can analyze. Like 2001 deserves a class on it.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you get a book that's like, you get The Kite Runner, and they're like, can you analyze what the kite means in it? It's like, I'm sorry, if we were reading like
Let's analyze
2001
Flat Stanley.
or like Annihilation. Annihilation is so much thematically driven, and there's so much going
that
on
could
in it.
Like go on with
But
that.
it's not like, if I'm watching Vice, I'm not going to be like, what's Christian Bale's haircut mean in this scene? Like, that's where that line is. Like, the line between being analytic and being pretentious is concerning yourself with details and making details out to be more important than they are.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick specifically put stuff in his movies to analyze them. And there's stuff where, in The Shining, there's a scene where Jack Nicholson's character is reading from a Playgirl magazine, which is a thing of naked boys, like naked men, which kind of shows that maybe he's a little off in that regard, and he's a little too nice to his kid in some scenes, and he abuses him in other scenes. And then there's the weird thing with the bear that's blowing the guy, and in one scene the kid's wearing a sweatshirt with a bear on it.
Oh shit.
The bear blowing the man, and then you start sitting there and going, what the fuck? There's a scene where a rocket ship's like here, but then there's white stuff coming up the thing at the kid's face. I'm not joking. This is in the movie.
Oh my god.
And that's why it's insinuated that
was
he
it even
rapes the
was
kid.
this in the documentary Room 247?
It might be in there.
'Cause I don't remember
This
it.
is me recalling it from like watching the movie. There's some shit in The Shining that like it gets you
some shit,
subconsciously.
man.
If whether you pick up on it or not, there's such a tone in that movie that gets to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
Oh, The
it's
Shining.
crazy.
That's one of the best movies, man. I love Stanley
the
Kubrick.
dick
Oh.
on the shirt there reminds me of something.
But yeah,
I'll
no,
show
there's a rocket ship, and the rocket ship, I think, there's something on the rocket ship. This is why I got to watch the movie again. But yeah, there's so much stuff like that in his movies.
He's carrying a sack underneath.
That's analysis of what he's doing there. But like, in the movie Gladiator, his sword choice, what did it imply about himself? It's like, that might be a stretch,
He likes gutting people.
Oh, perfect.
but it might be something there. Oh, that's oh my gosh. So
Next we have sound editing.
sound editing, Black Panther.
Again.
Maybe it was good. I just didn't think Black Panther was a good movie. I don't think it was a great movie. It's a decent watch.
See, this next one.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I could see that.
Yeah,
It's
you have to do a
movie
lot of
music.
music and all that stuff. That's a lot of hard stuff with sound editing and. First Man, I can definitely believe
I
that
could see
First
that,
Man.
too, yeah.
When
We
you're
haven't
doing a
seen it, though,
space,
so we don't
I
know.
know, but when you're doing a space movie, there's a lot that goes
Yeah,
into
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
The ship going off and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Plus the fact that there's no sound in space. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey.
Speaking of no sound, A Quiet Place is the next
Yeah.
one, which they released. The one record company I like, they do special vinyl releases of soundtracks. They do. Death
they
Wax.
have a
They
Quiet
have one for A
Place
Quiet
soundtrack.
Place, and it's like one side is all of the music in the movie, and then the other side of the vinyl is like a picture. So it's really cool, and it was like a cool splattered vinyl, and it's like really awesome, but. Like,
is there any music in the movie?
yeah, there's like 18 minutes of music in the movie, so it's one side of a record.
Oh god.
So it was kind of a joke on April Fools, but people bought them because they were like, I like The Quiet Place. So Quiet Place, and I'm sure it's really hard to do mixing when there's not a lot. You
Yeah.
can't hide anything. You can't like, if you make one mistake or if it clips in a spot, you can't just like throw other audio over it to cover it because it's just that.
I mean, in general, sound design, I think in any movie is just really hard because it's like if you any movie, no matter what, you know. I
Can
mean,
be.
I guess some movies
That's why you get
it's
people who
harder.
are good at it to
Yeah.
do the
Yeah,
sound
can
But it's
editing.
like
That's-
if you
yeah.
screw
Don't
up the
have me do
sound,
it.
you can
Yeah.
screw up the visuals up to a degree or a lot, and then people will be like,
And
"Oh,
it's
it's
not as
art."
jarring. Yeah, it's art.
It's art.
You fuck up sound. I'm not joking. People will be like, "Oh, what was that? What was that noise?" It's like,
I mean,
shit.
Yeah. Oops, I put too
yeah,
much reverb.
yeah, you can't.
Yeah, too much
Yeah.
reverb. It sounds like it was recorded underwater.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose.
It
Let- you know-
was.
You know what I noticed when I was listening to the soundtrack from A Star Is Born, and you know one of the takes between the things between where the guy who comes up to her and pitches her this like pop star deal thing. Forget what his name is. Something Gaz. I don't know. Raz.
The Great Gatsby.
Just talk.
Yeah, he like you can kind of hear if you listen closely the lav mics. You can hear the lav mics like move because of their shirts a little bit. Like I noticed that. Like I never noticed it in the movie though. And it's like probably one of those things that, like the audio people have to like work on. Like yeah, in every movie.
Well, and that's why it got nominated for sound. Yeah, Stars Born is on
reason.
him.
For sound mixing?
We were doing sound editing.
We're editing. Yeah.
Oh, it's still. Oh no, it didn't get. My bad.
Wait, didn't get it?
It didn't do
not
sound
yet.
editing, but it did sound mixing.
Yeah.
So that's mixing it rather than editing it. Editing
Oh no, I
kinda
just thought that was like interesting.
Roma got nominated for
about
sound
the labs.
editing.
Can't do one
Roma-
without the other.
Yeah, Roma was good, as I said. Sound mixing has Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma, and A Quiet Place didn't get sound mixing. A Star Is Born got sound mixing. Now, I guess the difference is editing is where you're putting things and combining audio tracks, and then sound mixing is like dialing it in, your highs, mids, and lows. I guess.
No idea.
I have never mixed a movie. I've mixed a lot of music.
I feel like you can't do one without the other one.
I know. Now, if one was mixing and one was mastering, I'd be like,
yeah, that would
okay,
make more sense.
that guy did a great job on the master, but how would you know what the master is if you didn't hit the original? And that's why it's like, Tom, do you know what the difference between sound editing and sound mixing is?
Honestly, no. Well, no, I got it.
I feel like mixing has layering.
Mixing, I bet that has to do with taking like the score and putting the audio over that maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of what I was just saying. You just,
Yeah, and that would
layering.
make sense for A Star Is Born because they had to mix all that music
Yeah,
in
and
with.
I think
That would actually make sense with A Quiet Place too, because
it didn't have a lot of
layering.
music.
Yeah, no layering
Okay,
going on.
it makes sense.
so.
now.
Yeah. So editing, like, yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that's just taking sounds and putting it on the film. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's my assumption.
All right.
I'd have to
Next
look
up is production design.
Production design. The nominees were Black Panther, First Man, The Favorite, Mary Poppins Returns, and Roma. I'd give it to The Favorite because so much stuff in it it looks fantastic. How they set everything up, the castle looks like a castle. Everything looks really cool. It's one of those movies that's like, I mean, I think The Favorite is The Favorite. I mean, I would say everything it did I thought was so well done. I would not be mad if it wins every category it's in because I just thought it did such a great job.
What if Black Panther wins everything?
If Black Panther comes away like it wins everything, let's see.
Then we got another
like
podcast
4
episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna
what
be
the hell
ranting the whole
happened?
yeah.
So
What is going
What's
on
going
with the
on
film
with the
industry?
Black
industry?
Panther wins for Best Picture.
I think that's the next one.
Let's see. Yeah, is there any other? Yeah, no, Black Panther. Yeah, well, we're gonna see Black Panther a lot. Yeah,
There's some stuff on the next page.
so Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture, but it also has like the sound editing and sound mixing,
As costume
production
design.
original song, the soundtrack, and costume design. So it could win a bunch, but here's the thing: no movie's ever won Best Picture without also winning Best Director or Best Actor.
Really?
Yeah, you have to have had like a director or one of the actors. There's never been one to not do that, except for the only movie to ever have that happen was
Moonlight.
No, it was Rebecca.
No.
No, Moonlight Mahershala Ali won for best actor. It was supporting actor, but it still counts.
But
Sure
yeah,
wasn't The
best
Running
director
Man?
went to La La Land.
Yeah.
I think it was The
But here's the
Running
thing. So
Damien
the only
Chazelle.
movie to ever do it without winning one of the major categories, if I'm correct, it's Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca. It only won 2 Oscars, but one of them
So
was
is
Best
it's not a
Picture.
rule, is it?
It's not a rule, but you're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna have Black Panther win because it didn't get nominated for any of like the important stuff.
It might
It
get
got
like,
nominated.
It'll get like.
I don't know how
costume-
it got a Best Picture nomination. I think it was like.
I could see
well,
it getting costume design.
What
I
if
think
it-
there was 7
theoretically-
movies that they were on board with, and they were like, we
Theoretically-
can't go with horror, so let's do a superhero movie because it was popular and
What
it's
if it
trendy.
does? What if it does? I just want to hear
If
you.
Black Panther wins Best Picture, I'm gonna be like, Marvel bought somebody's ass. Like they bought a lot of ass. There's no other way. Because
That's the
it's not
title-
a great movie. It's
That's the
fucking
title of
bullshit.
the episode. They bought a lot of ass.
Yeah, Disney buys ass.
that could get some clicks, some hits. Yeah.
That's that. Well, we played the ending scene of the Black
Yeah,
Panther movie. That
yeah.
looked terrible. If it's nominated for best visual effects. No, there's no
No.
way. There's no way it didn't. Infinity War
Okay.
got nominated for that, but it
Wait,
didn't get
Infinity War. Yeah, that came out the last.
Yeah, it was
year,
2018.
right,
Yeah,
Okay.
it only got nominated for visual effects. Meanwhile, Black Panther's got like 6 nominations.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
I feel like if Black like Infinity War was better than
Infinity
Black
War was better
Yeah.
than Black Panther. I actually really liked Infinity
Panther. I
War.
did too. Yeah.
I was like, that's the best Marvel movie, the best MCU movie.
I heard something. Kevin Smith watched that movie like 53 times or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
He seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith's cool. I like Kevin
yeah,
Smith.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great in his own realm there.
Yeah, I think, interestingly enough, rolling through here, just to roll through this. Production design, yeah, Black Panther, First Man, favorite, Mary Poppins Returns to Roma, as we said. I think the favorite should win that. Original score, we have Black Klansman, Black Panther, If Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, and Mary Poppins Returns. I think Annihilation and Suspiria got screwed.
Oh, I
They
thought
had
the music-
fantastic
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, the music was great in Annihilation.
Oh yeah, everything. The Crosby, Stills and Nash song that
Yeah.
comes in there, it really cuts through, and you
It
listen to
does.
the words, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
it's really is so good. Annihilation should have gotten a fucking nomination for
Wait,
best
what
picture.
was what,
Should have got a bunch.
Bing
of
Crosby? You said. What?
No, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Yeah, it was Bing Crosby.
Wait, what did
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It's a Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah.
And I think Young. I think Neil Young is on that track. I think
Is
that's
he?
off their second one, Deja Vu, if I'm correct. I think, or it's off their first one, and there's no Young. So
Yeah, I'm not sure.
anyway,
One or the other.
Annihilation was incredible.
That was a great movie.
It was
I loved it.
incredible. I think it's getting snubbed from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Suspiria, same thing. Mandy, the Nick Cage movie, Panos Cosmatos.
Was it Maddie or
Mandy.
Mandy.
It's an incredible movie. That's one of those 2001. It's one of those special movies. Honestly, I would put it up in my category, but I think suggesting a movie with Nicolas Cage with a battle axe versus a biker gang
It'll get
getting
a lot-
nominated for Best Picture,
Yeah, that'll get a lot
people
of
would think
different-
I'm insane. But Mandy, the soundtrack, it was the last thing Johan Johansson ever did because he died. He overdosed in a hotel room, I believe, is what happened. I don't want
That's
to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
if I'm incorrect here, I'm so sorry. But he did pass away, and he had done the music for Arrival. He had done a lot of stuff. He did some of the stuff on Blade Runner 2049 with Hans Zimmer. He's done a lot of crazily great stuff. He didn't get a nomination. This is a posthumous
Yeah.
thing, and he didn't get a nomination for one of his best soundtracks. That was insulting. And then I know
Yeah.
the Halloween 2018 had an incredible soundtrack. And it's a score. It is a score. And I know this is the
You're
best
telling
score.
me you think Halloween should be on there?
The 2018, John Carpenter and their
Yeah.
group, they did an incredible job
Alright.
on the score. I think
did.
Black Panther's on with rap music.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, they have Black Panthers on here, and it's a whole bunch of hippity hop. You know,
Hippity hopping.
that's okay.
Yeah, and Halloween actually has like an original fucking
Yeah, that's
score.
true.
Yeah,
So
and
like
it's really.
I thought you were riffing on it at one point a long time ago. It was like, like he did it. It was his. I mean, I don't know. It was something about the fact that like when a director does it, like the score, Does he? I mean, like, yeah. So you like his score?
John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the original one's incredible. I was
Okay.
talking. He did the music again. Him and it was him, his son, and then Ray Davies from the Kinks' son. Is their band, and I think even Ray Davies helped on this soundtrack, that's the Kinks, man.
That's interesting,
That's
yeah.
going back. That's pulling. That's crazy. But I'm like, you have Mary Poppins Returns, which it's like I didn't see it, but like it's that typical
I
kind
could
of
see-
Disney
I could see
musical
it
kind of
having,
thing.
yeah,
And
like
I'm
it
sure
sounds-
it's
I
probably
like
pretty
one
good.
that's
like an uppity type.
Isle
thing.
of Dogs was fantastic, and out of everything listed here, that's the one I'd give my vote to. Black Klansman had a really good score also, and I didn't see if Beale Street could talk. Black Panther, though, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, Annihilation and Suspiria and Mandy and Halloween were all better than Black Panther.
Yeah.
No offense, but
No
Black
offense.
Panther just sounds like all the other Marvel movies. It's that generic
they-
orchestra.
a pop.
It's not even good orchestra.
type
It's
of
just
poppy.
generic.
Watch them
Yeah.
win.
What?
Watch them win. Because they can't give it to them for Best Picture. They're gonna give it to
I
that.
bet they'll win for something. I bet it'll
They'll
be
give 'em
costume.
sound mixing
I think
or
it'll be
something.
costume design.
They'll
or
give them
something.
costume or
Yeah.
something. I feel like they almost feel obligated. They have to give Black Panther something because they're like, we need people to watch our thing again. Let's give it to a movie that made $1 billion because it's trendy and cute.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like that's why it got a nomination because it made over $1 billion and it was the
lot of
highest grossing, second highest grossing movie of the year. And they didn't want to nominate Infinity War. Because I guess, Infinity War doesn't really have a lot of story in it, let's be honest. Infinity War there's kind of like, there's a lot going on in Infinity War. I think it's a much better movie than Black Panther. But
It's more psychological.
Do you think they're gonna undo what they did?
they probably will.
Yeah.
That moves
Yeah.
into original song there.
Original songs, we have All the Stars from Black Panther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. I don't know that I have anything to say about that. I mean, I think Kendrick Lamar's a good rapper, and I think SZA, from Wu-Tang, I'm pretty sure it's one of the guys from Wu-Tang.
I don't know.
That's cool and all. It's not my kind of thing. All Fight from RBG, didn't see it, so I have no opinion on it.
Red, blue, green.
The Place Where Lost Things Go, Mary Poppins Returns, I didn't see it. Shallow from A Star Is Born is the one I'd vote for because it had a
Because
great
he
soundtrack.
saw it.
Had a great soundtrack, and it's because it's the one I did see. I do want to see Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Though, 'cause
I
love
want
the
to see
Coen
that
Brothers.
too. Yeah.
So that's When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings.
You guys want to watch that today?
Well, I
Ballad of Buster
do.
Scruggs.
I do want to watch it. We're gonna go to the next category.
Yeah. Makeup and hair.
Oh, and for Best Original Song, there was one of the songs off of the Suspiria soundtrack by Tom York. There's some incredible stuff all over that. And Tom York from Radiohead's probably the most inventive band of our era. I mean, Radiohead's always kind of pushing the limits of what you could do with music and stuff. And I think that's really awesome because a lot of people are sellouts and we're just like, here's a generic 3-chord song. Here you go.
GAC, there you go.
It's not even 3 chords anymore. They've gotten to the point where it's
Wait,
3 notes.
They've
It's like-
quantified it even more than that.
Yeah, it's like a C note, a G note, and an F note, and
Yeah.
they're like boom, 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 boom.
It's become worse
love
than
this
I
song.
believed.
It's like.
It's even worse.
Meanwhile, I don't even think minimalism is necessarily. It's not inherently bad because immigrant songs based off of a note played an octave apart as the main riff.
Yeah, you want minimalism, but like it's
works.
you also like
I love Beethoven minimalism.
don't
but
force it. That's what it is.
It's forced minimalism so that they can assembly line the music out because they're like, well, if we can't figure out what people like, let's just send a whole bunch of shit out there and people will figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, like if
That's what the music industry does nowadays. They don't try to be tastemakers anymore. Well, they do kind of try to, but they do a horrible job because all of it sounds exactly the same. It's unoriginal and nobody's unique.
When I write, I like to either
In the
make
mainstream, at
things
least.
more complicated and then add a simplistic part in there, and
Yeah.
it really sticks out. Or make a more simple song and then add like a complex thing in there. Instead of just being like it all needs to be fucking 3 notes and then people can sing over it.
Yeah.
Don't
We're
overthink
all
it.
stars and everything is great.
I mean, I'm definitely right because I'm the best musician.
Yeah.
Don't take
What?
my word by that. Yeah.
So now makeup and hair.
Yeah. There's
after
Porter.
we've ranted about the music
Yeah.
industry. I like food and I can't afford it. No. Musicians have to do podcasts because music doesn't make money anymore.
We have Porter, Mary, Queen of Scots, and Vice.
I figure out of there, I would vote for Vice just from seeing what I saw.
I would also,
Christian
yes.
Bale looked like Dick Cheney. That's an
Literally.
accomplishment.
Yeah. That itself is a piece of art.
Although I would say The Favorite and Suspiria should have gotten nominations because I figure they could nominate more than 3, and if they can only nominate 3, that's a stupid thing. But Suspiria had some incredible makeup stuff. I really don't want to ruin anything, but there's some shit at the end of the movie that if you've seen the end of Suspiria, you know what I'm talking about. Holy shit. There's some crazy shit, man. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Check out
But
Suspiria.
also in Suspiria, they make the old man in the movie is played by Tilda Swinton, and people just didn't know, and that's why it didn't get nominated for this because they made her up to look like an old man.
Yeah.
And people didn't know that, and it just goes to show when you do something so good, the Academy does not recognize it. 2001: A Space Odyssey didn't win for best makeup and stuff.
Yeah, because they thought they were monkeys.
Because they thought they were real
threw
monkeys at the beginning.
Idiots.
They give it to Planet of the Apes instead because they were like
That's ridiculous.
because they thought the apes at the beginning of 2001 I guess they thought
They
Kubrick
did
trained actual
They did
monkeys
too good
to
of
do
a
stuff.
job with it. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, he does that too.
well, yeah. I do such a good job. You don't know I did a good job.
yeah.
That's just his philosophy with people.
Yeah. So Suspiria, I definitely think should have gotten a nomination, and The Favorite should have gotten nominations. They were both fantastic. I'd give my total vote to Suspiria, but it's not. It didn't get a nomination. So
Next up is costume design.
we got Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Black Panther again.
I could see that with
The
that.
Favorite has fantastic outfits and stuff. I mean, they went all out. It looks so good. The Favorite is one of those
So
movies. It's the best looking movie of the year. It should win everything ever because it is everything. Oh,
What
the
about
more I
Mary
think about
Queen
that
of
movie, the
Scots?
more I like it, and that's how you know it's a great movie.
Favorite?
The Favorite. Like
I'm gonna see that.
the more I talk about it, the more I think about it. Like it just keeps going up my top 10 list. Like okay, it was already really high. I'm not even gonna like over the course of this episode, I think it's moved up a spot.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy that just sitting here talking about it, from leaving the theater, it's gone up 3 spots since then. Because
Wait, when did you see it? You didn't see it this morning.
I
You
saw it last week.
last week. Yeah.
I was gonna see Brawley, but I ended up seeing The Favorite, and it was one of my top so many films of the year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see that.
So it was really good. So we have for costume design, yeah. So Ballad of Scruggs, Black Panther, The Favorite, which is fantastic.
Mary Poppins Returns.
Mary Poppins Returns and Mary Queen of Scots. I'd give it to The Favorite, as I said, as
I haven't seen it,
it's
so I
it's
couldn't
just
say.
done such a great job with everything it did. I thought it was I think it should win Best Picture. I don't know. It's a coin flip between that or A Star Is Born for my vote for
Yes,
who
it
I
is.
was would give my Best Picture to. But it's
gonna go to
nominated
Roma,
for
then.
10. Yeah, it's gonna go to Roma, and I'm gonna be like,
It's always gonna be
There's
like
that one scene,
bitter
though.
disappointment.
there's that one scene that's so good, and then all those other that's my problem with Roma. It has some of the best scenes of the year, but that's like it's like listening to an album, and you're like, it has a whole bunch of great songs and a whole bunch of okay, it's there. You just kind of wish you had that really nice cohesive Dark Side of the Moon is the best album because together
It all
it
goes,
can't exist
yeah,
without its
yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
That's just the best movies can't exist without their parts. Meanwhile, Roma's one of those things where there's some scenes in that I'd play for somebody and they'd be like, "That's incredible."
Well, I mean, what
But
do
I
you
don't
mean
think it
by-
works
I mean,
total.
are you sure
I disagree
it
with you
can't
with that.
exist without its parts?
Because if you listen to Time by itself, it fucking
Dark
stands.
Side. Well, time works.
I know, I'm just messing with you, but
incredible.
I see what you mean, though. It is, if you listen to it from beginning to the end, it's all
It's
coherent
better.
in one
It's
thing.
better than the sum of its parts.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there's other stuff where you're like for example, and this is going into controversial territory. Sergeant Pepper's isn't as good as Dark Side of the Moon because Sergeant Pepper's is the sum of its pieces. I still don't get me wrong. Sergeant Pepper's is a 10 out of 10. It's top 5 album ever made. It's incredible. Every song on it's great. But you could take songs off of Sergeant Pepper's and the album still works. you can't take songs out of Dark Side of the Moon and have it still work. If you take Us and Them out, or you take anything out of there,
Yeah,
it takes away
have a
from
it'd
like
have
your
a
viewing
jolt
experience.
I'm gonna
from
be
the next
honest.
song between each other. Yeah, I see what you mean.
The song "Money,"
Money,
I'm not.
it's a scam. Baby.
I think it might be one of my least favorite songs on that album for some reason. I don't know why.
Because you're an asshole.
Yeah. So
Thanks,
you're saying that one Money?
Yeah.
It has incredible guitar song.
One of the bigger
It's
ones.
well, you know what it is?
Pink
It's
Floyd.
one of the most. Yeah, it was their first #1 hit, which is hilarious because it's a song making fun of like industry,
Yeah.
people being consumed about money rather than
I don't
like,
know what
the
it is
things that are
about it, though.
important to you. I mean,
But then again, what I'm saying is,
we got a
non-musician over
yeah,
here
we have a
saying-
non-muse.
I
We got a
can't-
non-muse telling us what's good.
I couldn't listen
This
to the
guy-
album without it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so
You know what I mean?
yeah, and Tom's over here. He's like, I choose to listen to Linkin Park, but money just wasn't my thing. Linkin Park
Oh my
is so
God.
cheesy.
Soulja Boy, yeah.
So- he's like, that Soulja Boy's debut changed my life. And his gaming consoles changed the way I looked at the world. It invigorated
Did
a
we
feeling.
talk about that on the last podcast?
Yeah, we did the
we
Soulja
got
Boy
that.
thing, and we were
You
like,
got that.
Soulja Boy's consoles invigorates a sense of me wasting my money and time with a shitty gaming system. What a fucking asshole, fucking Soulja Boy. He's allowed to live. That's you know, fucking
All right,
Soulja Boy. He's a waste of
We
air.
have one more category on here:
Oh.
visual effects.
And then I have two of my own categories.
He
in
has
here.
his own category.
But
they matter.
visual effects, the nominees are Avenger Infinity War, their only nomination, which I'm sure that makes people happy. But like Black Panther gets like 6 nominations.
Yeah.
And Avengers
There's a
Infinity
few that
War
Infinity
gets
War
one.
probably should have gotten instead.
Oh, the guy who
of-
played Thanos. He's like Josh Brolin
Yeah.
was the first great Marvel
Yeah.
villain.
Oh, yeah, he
The
was
first
amazing.
Great one.
Yeah.
They've had a bunch of okay and decent ones, but Josh Brolin actually was really
Yeah.
good. Now he's really good in a lot of stuff, so I'm not gonna say like this was a shocker, but he could have.
Was his performance
He
in
pulled it
Avengers
off.
Infinity War better than Country for Old Men?
No Country for Old Men.
It's
Avengers
I know.
Infinity War does not compare
kidding.
to
yeah,
I'm
it was
kidding,
it was different. He was playing like
Yeah.
an authoritarian instead of
And he
like
had the
That's an incredible movie.
Yeah,
that's also
that's-
the Coen
he had the
brothers.
Nike
yeah.
chin.
Is it?
The
Yeah,
Nike
yeah.
chin.
The Nike chin. Yeah. Oh.
that cattle prod thing where you that thing's awesome.
So Christopher
The
Robin.
bedazzled love.
Christopher Robin, the Winnie the Pooh movie.
The Winnie the Pooh. We got First Man for visual effects, which I'm sure is probably really good.
would
It got
not
nominated.
believe
From what I hear.
From what I hear, it looks good. Ready Player One, I actually really liked Ready Player One. I like Spielberg. I like what he does.
I could
like
see
how that
them
movie
getting. I could
and
see
the
them
thing is,
getting
I
that.
thought they were
Before that
inventive
movie-
and
Yeah.
interesting, and they did really cool stuff. I was really worried about
Before
the
the movie, you're like, oh, Steven Spielberg sucks. He just
Oh,
does.
no.
He's just like everybody is like Marvel. He just ruins everything.
No,
But now
no, no,
you're
no,
like,
no.
now you come to
said
your
Steven
senses,
Spielberg sucks?
and,
No,
and you
no.
understand why he's such a great filmmaker.
No.
You
Jurassic
realize
Park.
it's because he knows how to
Whoa.
put together a great film.
Well, no.
It may
I
not
would
be what
joke
you're
about
like.
Steven
you're
Spielberg,
Fuck the
and it was
Iron
just
Giant.
because like Steven Spielberg is a great director. I just wouldn't compare him to Andrei Tarkovsky
Yeah.
or Stanley Kubrick. But like for mainstream filmmaking, there's nobody better.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is the greatest blockbuster director of all
Yeah,
time.
he writes. He friggin' has,
For what
like-
he does,
he has
he's the best at
hundreds
it.
of
Yeah,
movies
definitely.
on
For
his
sure.
on his IMDb.
Oh, he's done so much.
Hundreds.
And I own
And
so
shows.
many of his movies.
He's done shows
Maybe
too.
thousands. I don't know.
He's not done
Thousands.
thousands.
He
At
did
least
the
1,000.
I mean,
Animaniacs.
he did Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, Saving Private Ryan. That opening beach scene. That's
Yeah, we watched
still
that the other day. Just
that's-
to like
how.
I
I actually
just
watched
to
the
remind
video.
ourselves what it's like to
I
be
watched the
mad.
video. The guy, there was a guy who went on about how, in 1998 for Best Picture, it was Shakespeare in Love versus Saving Private Ryan. Pretty much, everybody was like, one of the two is gonna get it. Shakespeare in Love supposedly won because Harvey Weinstein was behind the movie, and I think he kind of like bribed some people to vote his way,
Bribed.
and he probably raped them too. Because if you know the allegations against him, he's probably not too afraid to do that. But
Wait, when was this again?
98. So yeah, no, Harvey Weinstein, man.
And this got what did this take? What was
Shakespeare
it?
in Love won Best Picture over Saving Private Ryan, which is like, who
No.
talks about Shakespeare in Love anymore?
I don't, like no.
If you just look somebody in the face and you're like, "Have you seen Saving Private Ryan?" and you're like, "We've seen things, man. We've been together. We've."
Hell yeah.
When that guy lets his dude die because he's too afraid to go in there and save him with the
Oh shit!
The guy takes his helmet off and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
scream."
yeah. Oh, the arm. The guy's got to walk over, pick his arm
Yeah.
up. That beach scene. I
Oh
mean,
my
everything
God.
about it.
Yeah.
And when they finally take it over, you're like, yes.
I remember.
kill him.
I remember like.
but you're also like, this is kind of
It's
fucked.
fucked up. Yeah, it's
I
fucked
remember
up.
they
fucked.
played it on like Channel 10 or something like that, and they unedited. That was the only way the guy would let it happen.
Yeah.
And it was they fucking did it. It was great. My
It's
dad's like,
incredible
"You're
movie.
watching this." I'm like, "Okay."
It's important.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
It's a fucking
It's
amazing
an incredible
movie.
movie. Although I did have somebody give me a valid point on why he said it's not a Best Picture winner worthy film, and his one reason for it is he goes, the premise of the movie is that the military found out that this guy's brothers died, so they can't tell the mother that the whole family died, so that they send the army to save him because of that. And he's going on about this, and I'm like, you realize it's based on a true story? And he's like, what? And he's like, what? He's like, I thought it was a dumb premise. I'm like, this actually happened.
yeah.
Like, it actually sounds kind of dopey when you think about that, but it actually happened, so I guess there was something
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you still think that has any validity though? You said they had a good point though.
I think, there's a good, what I meant was like, when I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, he's actually kind of making a somewhat of a good point here.
Yeah,
And then,
but then
and then
you
it's like,
realize-
no, it's a real story. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I retract my statement. It's that kind of thing where it's like, you might think something and then you kind of hear the truth. It's like, oh, wow.
These were like 2.5.
So,
Hours in.
the last thing I'm going to say is, out of everything nominated, I'd actually say Best Visual Effects. I don't know. Out of everything here, I haven't seen First Man. I think maybe that deserves it. But I'd go with Ready Player One out of everything I saw. I just thought they were kind of inventive with stuff, and they had to animate so much, and they had to do so much, and basically create a world in this 3D
Yeah,
landscape.
visual effects. It should definitely go to Ready Player One.
Yeah,
right?
I think they did an incredible job.
Dude, the whole movie is in a video game.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they did
No,
a good job.
you kidding me?
It's pretty much an animated movie.
and
at
all
that
the
point.
Easter eggs layered in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
like, there's probably way more than I even had time to look for.
I will say, had Annihilation been nominated,
No, over Ready Player One for visual effects.
I mean, in terms of like the amount of work done, but I'm just saying, like, Annihilation, there's some stuff in it
They
that's
did
some
some
pretty crazy
really
stuff.
great work with.
Oh, and the
visual
shimmer
effects.
thing,
Yeah.
how the shimmer, like, that whole thing was like animated. Obviously, that wasn't
Yeah.
practical.
Yeah.
but it was like they had a lot to do in that.
Got a lot
I mean,
of
they
bubbles.
blow a guy up with a hand grenade twice.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. They showed the aftermath. Which
Yeah.
is, anyway, we just ruined the whole movie.
I mean,
and Suspiria has some crazy stuff, but Suspiria is more makeup because a lot of Suspiria was practical. That's why I'm like, I mean, I loved it. I thought it had incredible everything, but I just don't know that it could technically get nominated because I think sometimes we think visual effects is like CGI. and
I just
shit,
know
so.
from my experience with like modeling and animation and whatnot, Ready Player One's.
Oh yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean
way
that's why if you look at my paper, I have the
busy-
star on
it is
that.
fucking busy, man.
Oh, they had to do a ton, and that's
Holy
why I'm
shit.
saying like that's an accomplishment in it. So yeah, Ready
Yeah.
Player One should get it. But you watch Solo, a Star Wars story is gonna get it.
Oh,
the
that
most
should get it.
average Star Wars movie ever. I
haven't
liked
seen
it.
They had some
saw
good
it?
effects. in
It's
it.
pretty good, but it's the most average Star Wars movie you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most just like if you just took an '80s action movie and
It is-
made it Han Solo.
It is literally a Star Wars story. That's
yeah,
like
that's you could sum it up. With
Yeah.
that. I enjoy it.
like that is.
But here's the thing.
definition.
I didn't think it was much better than The Predator, and like the only difference is with Solo, they were kind of trying to pander a little bit, Meanwhile, with Predator changed a lot of like the mythos and some other stuff, and that pissed off some people. I was along for the ride. I have all like AVP comics. I have so much, but I'm definitely more of an Alien fan than I am Predator. So them messing
What did
with
they try to
Predators,
change
I've
with
always
the
liked
mythos?
Predator more.
What did they try to change?
I mean, he's brutal, man.
It's brutal.
Alex,
Well,
what did they try to change?
okay. Spoilers. Skip ahead 30 seconds
we
if you
doing
don't
spoilers or
want.
no?
Just it's real
Okay.
quick spoilers. There's a big alien. The big predator comes to chase after the smaller predator. So there's a normal sized one and then a really big guy, and he comes in to fucking kill him.
The bodybuilder
But like
one.
they've messed with his DNA, so he's got like rock skin and all kinds of things that they've been taking from all these different races and stuff. And they've been taking the best stuff from these different planets and putting it in their own DNA to make true warriors and stuff. And some people are like, if you put stuff into an already formed organism, it would probably kill it. So that doesn't work.
It's also sci-fi.
And it's like it's a Shane Black comedy. What were you guys looking for?
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's what the thing was. When people heard there was a new Predator movie coming out, they were really hyped. They're like, where can this go? We can get Schwarzenegger back. We can do all these cool things. And instead, it's like Shane Black kind of just puts together a kind of like a funny group of guys, and like Tom Jane has like
Do you think?
Tourette's, and he's just like, eat your pussy. Do
you-
just like shit at
Do
places.
you
and it's-
think they like Ghostbustered it? Like the way they did
They
the
didn't
new-
do that. That's why I'm like,
Wasn't
there
that
wasn't
bad?
that kind of treatment.
Yeah.
Well, no, that'd be degrading the memory of.
Kill the predators.
No, the Ghostbusters remake was far worse than the
Yeah.
Predator.
It's had
I
a
thought the
fart
Predator was
joke
pretty
in there.
decent. It's just there's some jokes in there where they're like, well, why is it called Predator? If it hunts down its prey with all this stuff, it's a hunter. Predator sounds cooler. They literally say that in the movie. That's a line. He's like, we took a vote. Predator sounds cooler. And like people are like, what? Well, just like in Han Solo, the Solo A Star Wars story, the only reason why he's Han Solo was his name's Han, and when he showed up and they
Yeah,
asked
he
him
didn't
for
have
his
a name, yeah.
he's like, I'm by myself, so I guess you're Solo, Han Solo.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cheesy. That was
And
cheesy
then
as
and they
fuck.
go through like the Chewie's nickname, Chewbacca. He calls him Chewie because he's like, that's too much. I'll call you Chewie. So there's no like cool reason behind calling him Chewie. It's not their cool nickname.
Because he rips people's arms off and fucking
Yeah.
eats them. Like, yeah.
No, it's because he has a short attention span and he can't say Chewbacca. So anyway,
Just what they're doing in the Star Wars, man.
no, the Solo Star Wars story is a perfectly fine movie. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's a good time. It's not
Got a bad rap.
It's not gonna piss you. If you're a Star Wars fan, you watch that, you're not gonna be pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Last Jedi, incredibly well made movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fucking pissed.
Last Jedi had all the the fucking Star Wars fans not watch Solo.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
boycotted
Hell
Solo
yeah.
because they're like, I
So-
want to destroy Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Which has validity. Anyway, I'm gonna quick go through my final two.
Do you think
categories.
anybody's gonna go see the next one?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, people will. It's
Everybody's
Star
gonna
Wars,
see that.
man. And here's the thing: people will have had 2 years to sit on it.
And J.J. Abrams is making it this time.
yeah,
so.
it's not Ryan Johnson. They've
Yeah.
kind of thrown him in the trash
But
can.
I think
hopefully.
it's kind of a lost cause at this point, based
Nah.
on what he.
Well,
what
no,
he
I
did.
heard there might be some Superman
yeah.
bullshit where like they travel through a dimensional thing and nothing in Last Jedi stands, or like something like they're considering all options.
But Carrie Fisher still didn't make it.
Yeah, Carrie
Like,
Fisher's
yeah.
just not there. No, they're
She'll
gonna
stay
CGI her
behind.
like in
She'll
Rogue
stay
One.
behind. They are. They're gonna. They have some stuff from the last
I
movie.
guess. So I'm
There's some stuff from the last one. They'll just throw it
They
in
do.
the
They
They're
are
plot
gonna
line.
throw it
doing
in.
that.
Let's
Just like
look
Stan
just
Lee.
like Stan Lee and the Stan Lee's gonna be in the new Star Wars. That's what it is. Infinity War leads into the new Star Wars, and then the superheroes are Jedi, and it
Snoke-
explains everything.
Snoke is actually Stanley.
That's
Stan Lee
terrible.
didn't get cut in half because he could not be betrayed. Yeah, in Last Jedi, that scene, Snoke's sitting there. There's a lightsaber next to him, and you know what? I don't even care about spoilers. Last Jedi, you deserve to be spoiled. He sits there. There's a lightsaber next to him, and Kylo Ren turns it on, cuts Snoke in half. Right after Snoke goes, "I cannot be betrayed."
Yeah.
And then he gets cut in half by Kylo Ren.
And the whole thing is the guy's supposed to know his every fucking thought and move.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh,
How
just
did you
because
not-
some hot chick was there, and he's just like, man, fucking.
It's all about subverting expectations.
It's subverting. That means I'm just gonna
Because he
not
doesn't
deliver on an
understand
asshole.
what expectations are. Or, I gotta turn on the screen again.
So I'm gonna roll through the best Blu-ray / 4K releases of 2018. I figure if we're doing awards and stuff, you know what? Let's roll through everything we go through. So for best picture, Tom, out of A Star Is Born, Roma, or like you only saw A Star Is Born.
I want to go see the favorite because of what you said. I'm actually really interested.
But like,
in
if
seeing
we're
it now.
just taking off the vote stuff here,
I'd say Stars Born.
Star Is Born's your vote. Did you see any of these?
I saw Black Panther.
You saw Black Panther?
No, Kevin.
So you can't give it to it.
I would say Annihilation as my own personal.
That's where I was
Yeah.
going. Like my vote, I'd say either Annihilation.
What if
or
it does
Suspiria.
win?
That'd be great.
But I, you know what? I'm gonna.
it's like
great.
it's like wait, it's not even on the list. Who cares?
I think for best picture, my vote would probably go to The Favorite because I was like stuck between The Favorite and A Star Is Born. I loved both. I keep like the more I think about The Favorite, the more I feel like I need to see it again. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
A Star Is
dude, yeah,
Born,
let's
but A
see
Star
that.
Is Born, it's I feel like now I'm kind of like going against it because it's like A Star Is Born, kind of the way
Made
it's
you
told.
cry.
Oh, well, I'll watch
Like
it.
a
Oh,
bitch.
I'm gonna be buying that Blu-ray.
Dude,
like, don't
I
get
am
me
too.
wrong. That was awesome.
I'm gonna get it on my
It's a
phone.
great movie. So, favorite or A Star Is Born? I'm gonna give it a tie. Let's go with that tie. Lead actor. I mean, I only saw A Star Is Born out of here, so I'd give it to Bradley Cooper.
all
but
of those actors are great.
all of them are
So I
great.
can't I couldn't put one.
yeah,
over the other.
lead actress. I thought Toni Collette and Tilda Swinton should have gotten nominations. They didn't. But I'd give my vote to either Olivia Colman or Lady Gaga. They're both great. Supporting actor Sam Elliott was great in A Star Is Born. Adam Driver was also really good in Black Klansman, and I didn't see the other ones. Supporting actress Amy Adams and Marina de Tavira and Regina King. For Amy Adams and Regina King, I didn't see those movies, so I can't really do that. Marina de Tavira was really good in Roma. But Emma Stone or Rachel Weisz, they were both fantastic in The Favorite. Either of them could easily win.
They're both great actors.
And they're both great actresses.
Actresses, sorry, jeez.
Yeah. Director, I didn't see Cold War or Vice, so it's really between Alfonso Cuarón, Paulo Paulas. My bad.
You're
It's
getting
between Alfonso Cuarón, Yorgos Lanthimos, and Spike Lee. I'd go with Yorgos Lanthimos because it was such an original movie. But Spike Lee also did a great job, and Alfonso Cuarón had a very original movie. I do think Alex Garland, Luca Guadagnino, and Ari Aster deserve nominations. Animated feature, I'd give it to Isle of Dogs or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Both really great. We're just going to skip animated short because
Just little trailers.
adapted screenplay, probably going to go with Star Is Born or Black Klansman. Original screenplay, I'd go with The Favorite. Cinematography, I would go with The Favorite, although Roma was also fantastic. Gonna skip the documentaries and the live action short. Best foreign language film, I'd give to Roma, simply because it's the only one I saw on the list. For film editing, I'd go The Favorite, although Black Klansman's not a bad choice. It was really good. Sound editing, go with Roma.
Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. Or A Quiet Place. Sound mixing, I'm going to go with Star Is Born, or Roma's also a great candidate. Production design, The Favorite was fantastic, although Roma was also good. Isle of Dogs for original score, what was listed, although I felt Annihilation and Suspiria should have been nominated and were both incredible. Mandy and Halloween also deserved consideration.
I think because of what you said about Mandy, the what's his name, the composer for that.
Johan Johansson.
Yeah, because, I mean,
it's kind of like a
he should have got
posthumous
it.
nomination.
He really
and it was
should've.
really incredible. If I play you some stuff, you're going to be like, wow, it was really good. And
I bet.
it's incredible. I just feel like if people looked at what kind of movie it is and they were like, oh, Nick Cage in a Mad Max movie, how could we ever give this a nomination for anything? Meanwhile, the guy who did it, Panos Cosmatos, he's one of the most original filmmakers out there today.
What was the rating it got for IMDb?
Mandy, I think it's got like a 7. It doesn't have like a amazing score, and it's because it's kind of a divisive movie because it's Nicolas Cage with a battle axe fighting a group of bikers basically, and that's
literal?
gonna
A battle axe?
pretty much a little battle axe. Like it's original song would go with "Shallow" from A Star Is Born. That was incredible. Makeup and hair would go with "Vice" from What's Listed. Although
Hell
The
yeah.
Favorite and Suspiria were both fantastic, and I thought Suspiria would get my total vote of any movie. Costume design, I'm gonna go with The Favorite from there. Go with The Favorite. Visual effects, Ready Player One, with all the work they did in it, but Annihilation and Suspiria also deserved consideration. And then for our own awards things, the best Blu-ray/4K releases, the nominees are 2001: A Space Odyssey, the 4K release they did. It was really incredible. It was 3 discs. It was some really cool stuff. Came with some extra goodies. Deep Red from Arrow Video. It came out with an amazing release of one of my favorite movies. It's a great mystery, giallo horror film. In the Mouth of Madness from Scream Factory. To finally get a cool special edition of that movie is awesome. It's a lost John Carpenter movie. Lost in terms of like the mainstream, I guess I'd say. Blade Runner 2049, the 4K of that came out. And Tom, I showed you some of the 4K footage from Blade Runner 2049.
That shit's sexy.
Looked incredible. And then Night of the Living Dead Criterion, they came out with a really awesome release. And I really think, well, it's Criterion. They do an amazing job with anything they touch. I gave my winner for best release of the year for best Blu-ray/4K to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Christopher Nolan helped work on the restoration and everything, and it's just absolutely incredible.
Check that out. Wait, you have it?
Yeah, I have it.
The 4K?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then for best box set, the nominees are Ingmar Bergman from Criterion. That's 60 of his films.
That's new.
That's an incredible set. That was from last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got that Batman the Animated Series Blu-ray.
Hell
They
yeah.
finally got a Blu-ray release.
My brother got that. That's
That's an incredible,
amazing, yeah.
incredible show.
It's amazing.
And then the other one I put is the Twin Peaks limited event series thing. The winner has to go to Ingmar Bergman's Criterion set. I mean, it's almost
many movies
all
is
of
there?
his career. It's like 60 movies.
I would
of
have
his.
to say the Batman animated series.
We're talking here 60 Criterion movies in a box set with a book talking about his entire career.
How much was it?
But we're talking about
I got
the
it for
Batman
Christmas.
animated series.
But how much?
They're going on eBay right now for like $1,200.
How much did you get yours for?
My mom had gotten mine for me for $150, which was on
Really?
super sale because it was started at $500, then it came down to $300, and then for like one day it was up for $150 on Amazon, and I'm like, pre-order. I was like, Mom, pre-order that shit now. And I got that for Christmas. Holy shit. I mean, it's incredible, and Ingmar Bergman is one of the all-time great filmmakers. But to have like,
Can I borrow some of those? When you
I
actually watch
guess
them?
so. I mean, I could bring it over for a movie day.
Yeah, that's cool.
We basically have film
He'll be
strips
like,
still.
I lost them.
I don't know what happened.
I have
man.
money, but I lost them.
But yeah. So I thought it was cool to kind of do some of our own award things here at the
that's
end.
cool.
So we're giving out 2001 and Ingmar Bergman. Because I think, that's one thing. The Oscars really don't care about, like, film releases or kind of like those... I love, like, Arrow Video, Scream Factory, and Criterion. Those kind of, like, special kind of movie releases they do. They do a really great job, and they do them for, like, the fans of those movies that, like, really care about them and love this stuff. And I think it's something that a lot of, like, Hollywood and those people really don't... They're not too concerned about that because they're like, oh, you like the movie, you'll just buy the Blu-ray. We'll give you 2 deleted scenes and a commentary. There you go. That's the Blu-ray. And it's like, I'm paying $25 for this movie, and you're giving me 2 special features and an okay release of the movie. Meanwhile, like Arrow Video, Criterion, and Scream Factory, they'll do 4K scans, like great versions of the film, plus like a disc and a half of special features kind of stuff with the movie and these amazing looking versions of the movie in the original aspect ratio, and they're charging like the same amount as what a new Blu-ray costs. So it's like, I don't know why you people are, but that's an old movie. Yeah, it's an incredible version of it. I got the Donnie Darko Arrow Video set. That's still one of the best releases ever.
Yeah.
No, that was from
What the fuck
2017.
does
So
that
I
have to
can-
do with it? That it's an old movie. Old movies are
Yeah,
better
no,
than new ones.
A lot of they
for
in a
the
lot
most
of
part.
cases
They're
yeah.
old people movies.
Well, it's just there's a lot of people who think.
Why do you like it? It's in black and white. It's not in
Yeah,
color.
yeah, well-
we'll do a colored version. You'll like it better. We can
Yes.
charge you more.
There's some people who think that the only way to move forward is by destroying the past. That's the whole point of Last Jedi.
Liberalism.
Which is, liberalism.
If you were gonna say it, I was gonna say it for you.
The liberal media.
LLC.
Liberal Media LLC. It's just this kind of idea that we got to destroy the past. It's like, no, we want to preserve the past because it's an important part of history, but it's also important because there's so much good stuff that's there. Like, the Beatles, they're old. They're for old people. The Beatles aren't good anymore. It's like, there's never going to be a time where Sgt. Pepper's isn't a great
I'm not
album.
an old
There's never going to be a
person.
time when Dark Side of the Moon's not going to be a great album. There's never going to be a time where Citizen Kane is not a good movie. Citizen Kane changed the fucking way
I feel
movies
like
were made.
Citizen Kane for
Such an incredible
a lot of times it's like the cliche like greatest movie ever.
It is the cliche greatest movie ever.
Because sometimes like I
it's
watch
one
like
of the
like
best
like
movies
you know
and one
I
of the most
feel.
important movies.
I mean I don't know for sure, but I'm like,
I don't know that
is
I'd
it the
put
best?
I don't know that there is one the
I don't
best. If I had to pick one single movie, I mean, it'd be hard for me not to go with 2001: A Space Odyssey, but that's only from the sheer landscape
That
of
movie's so slow and boring. What are you
it
talking
changed
about?
the way movies were made, though.
Yeah.
And when I say it, like, it
Kidding.
changed special effects in movies. Watch any movie before 2001. They changed special effects. They changed the way storytelling was and also all kinds of stuff. It led us into the 70s, where I think a lot of the best movies are from, because it really changed what was kind of being accepted. It went from that old school...
Are you saying this from like a encyclopedic knowledge of film? Or are you saying this, like you've watched a lot, you've
Like-
noticed the trends yourself?
You don't
Yeah.
know that he's seen a lot of movies? Guy with a fucking bookshelf.
My
of
fucking,
movies.
Yeah,
like,
for the viewers,
2000
he has-
movies.
I would
Every
trust
wall
this
is
guy.
like there's more movies than wall in his basement. Let's just put it that way.
And then we got the two cases over here.
Yeah.
If you want to know about a Woody Allen movie, I have it. So
So,
like I have them. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think Woody Allen had a new movie come out last year. He's done a movie a year every year since like 1967.
How come we don't know about it?
It was like wondering.
No, he
I thought he
did.
took
He
a
did
break
the
for
one thing for Netflix
recently.
or Amazon. It was the six crisis in 6 scenes or something like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear about that. I don't know how I have it like every Woody.
I mean, I
Allen
don't know if it
movie.
was that if it was critically accepted very well. I don't know. I forget. I'm not really sure.
All right, we're getting a little carried
Yeah, we're
away
getting
with
along
this.
in the
so,
tooth,
like,
so-
any you want to end it on any specific note here?
I think the one thing I do want to say, since we've done pretty much this whole episode around like the Academy Awards and everything, and like our own favorites and stuff, I think
The
we're starting
favorite.
to notice things changing with like Black Panther getting a nomination. One thing I could say is it shows that they're willing to nominate a genre film, but only if it's cute and trendy,
Mainstream enough.
mainstream
Yeah.
enough. A movie like Suspiria or Annihilation, really, I thought they're two of the best movies of the year. And Hereditary is going to be a movie that's going to kind of change what horror movies do, I feel like. I feel like we're going to get away from those terrible, jump-scary, bullshit, teen, awful garbage fests. Like, the 2000s were rough as hell for horror movies. Outside of, like, The Descent and Saw and Martyrs and some of, like, the better ones. In the 2000s and even the 90s, those are 2 decades of horror movies where like you have you cut the cream of the crop off and it's good. The cream on top's good. Everything below that is shit. Because it's all just people who didn't care about what they were doing. You could tell they're passionless and they were given to directors who really just want to do other stuff and they don't really have a passion for horror. And like a lot of the passionate directors are kind of getting passed on because they're like, well, we want you to just do what we tell you. And that's what they want. They want horror movies to be an assembly line product. And that's why they just rinse, repeat. There's a ghost in a house, boo, scare, you're going to jump. And we'll
Yeah.
place them every 20 minutes, no, every 10
also
minutes so
have
you don't
something
get
pop
bored.
out.
You
quote
also have
unquote.
people who don't really, know how to go about making good horror movies in general. I mean, it's hard, and they kind of just watch stuff and they have bad ideas about it. I don't know if it's just like
Truth or Dare is one of the worst movies I've
you
ever
know what I mean,
seen.
right? Like
And
you have people who are just trying, but they're not really getting it. You know, doesn't necessarily mean that there's some person in a suit, cattle prodding them and making them do what they tell them to.
I do think that's definitely part of it because there's certain studios that put out a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's just there's people who are naive to think that they know how to make a good horror film, but they do it.
Yeah, that's another
In a
thing.
bad
You
way.
see some people. The lady who made a Bye Bye Man, which is one of the funniest movies that wasn't supposed to be funny that you'll ever see, because. And she just said, I just woke up one day and I thought I'd make a horror movie. She was just she'd been a producer her whole life, like in the industry, producing all kinds of things, and then she just decided she was gonna make a horror movie, and she decided to open it up on an oversaturated scene of a guy walking with a shotgun. And he's just like, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, and he's just shooting people, and you're seeing CGI blood, and it's so bad. But then the blood spray that goes off the people, that goes onto the wall when it cuts, is not on the wall because they just forgot to CGI it back on the wall. And it's so funny because you have a guy walking with a shotgun going, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it. Who would ever take that seriously?
Yeah.
Unless you got Jack Nicholson to go fucking
If I saw
insane and break a door down.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
This was terrible.
Not in
So
the movie,
bad.
but if I saw it in real life, yeah, I'd be running the other way.
Yeah, you would be like, that guy's fucking nuts, but why
He's
are you
killing
watching
people
it?
like with CGI blood.
But the other thing is, you could tell that they only wanted to do one take of this scene where, like, he shoots a shotgun and it goes through the door. Because if you watch him, he kind of pulls the trigger and moves the shotgun, but then he kind of, like, shakes it twice. Like, he shakes it once and it doesn't blow the thing on the door up. But then when he shakes it twice, it blows the thing on the door up. So it's like they kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we don't have another door. they're like, we don't care enough to put another door on. That's how you know it's a shitty movie. They'll pay for all this bullshit and throw money all over the place, but they won't pay to replace a $500 door.
Doors are
Let's
pretty
see-
expensive.
That's $500.
This movie had a $32 million budget. It's
Going
horrible.
somewhere, Kevin?
Yeah, I gotta
Well,
go soon.
Oh,
Kevin's
okay.
leaving,
We're
so
like an hour and a half
we're gonna
past
cut.
where
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
said I could be here.
we're gonna cut
Jeez,
this
we're
one
almost
off
like
here.
a 3-hour.
Yeah.
We
We
get to
got
3 hours.
a full-fledged episode out of this one. So, guys, yeah, let us know down below in the comments section what you think about the Oscars and some of the stuff.
Yeah, tell us what you thought about all this. Like, do you
Yeah, we've been
think
talking for
Black
3 hours. Why
Panther-
don't we hear what you have to
Is Black
say?
Panther really a Best Picture film?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like,
Give
I-
us your
really
opinion
don't-
on why Black Panther should be better than put over The Favorite
yeah.
or A Star Is Born. That's just our opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. We're all wrong.
Yeah,
It
we're
doesn't
all
matter.
wrong.
We're all as wrong as each other. So
So, yeah.
well, I'll see you next time.